the calm before the proverbial storm here tonight. Welcome into the Northwest Pennsylvania Area Health Education Center. Pregame the pregame show. A 3-2-1 Friday awaits, which means that it is a great night for a happy hour. The work week is over, and the fun begins here in downtown Erie, Pennsylvania. We are posted up at the Bud Light Lounge because it is all about those happy hour specials here tonight. And happy hour means a little bit more on a Friday night because it's not just 1 hour. It is from doors until the start of the third period. $3 Labatt Blue Light Drafts, $2 hot dogs, $1 popcorn, and if you're a college student, buy one, get one tickets. There's no better way to be able to close out the work week than 3-2-1 Friday. And we're so excited. Second Friday home game of the 2024-2025 season. Only meeting of the season on home ice against the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, and second of 5 straight home games for the Erie Otters. Needless to say, there's a lot of excitement happening around this organization leading into today. And part of that excitement is a milestone. We talk a lot about the player milestones, but we often enough don't talk about the accomplishments of our staff members and what they're able to accomplish as people attending the games as well. People working these events and bringing them to life. I know RJ Nitzwicki celebrated his 250th game earlier this month. Tonight, Account Executive Mike Greenawalt working his 100th game. Trevor Cabella is live with him.
Hey, thanks a lot, Sean. We're down here on the concourse with Otters Account Executive Mike Greenawalt. Mike is celebrating his 100th game with the organization here tonight. So, Mike, first of all, what are the emotions like for you here with your 100th game?
Sense of relief, accomplishment, just being able to be a part of a team that I've grown up watching, and being part of this organization has been an awesome experience for me.
With you get to work a lot alongside not only the players but also the season ticket holders. What have been the relationships like that you've been able to build with everybody you've interacted with here?
I mean, I think that's probably the best part. As the account executive, you do get to interact with the players, but your main goal is to make sure the fans are happy. And listening to their experiences over the years, just from them coming to games for 60 years now, we'll be celebrating coming up. Just hearing their stories from over that time has been really cool.
Always cool, as well as the relationships, again, you get to build alongside them. What has been your favorite memory so far with your time with the organization?
My favorite memory had to be last year when I was able to go on a bus trip to Sudbury with the boys and the hockey ops, getting to experience that, seeing what they do on the road, and seeing how much work goes into it, even for our level, is incredible, and how much these players, fans, and everyone else associated with the team actually does.
Pretty cool to see, and there's nothing better than going on the road. Mike, here's to 100 more, sir.
Thanks, Trevor. Can't wait.
Sean, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Trevor. Thanks, Mike. Certainly going to be a busy night here around the Erie Insurance Arena, and I know a lot of season ticket members are certainly going to wish Mike a happy century mark. When we come back here on the NWPA AHEC Pregame the Pregame show, it is the term on everyone's mind after a big Wednesday night victory: shorties, shorthanded goals. More on that when we come back. When it comes to health education in the Erie region, Northwest Pennsylvania AHEC is the name to know. But what is AHEC? Do they provide education to high school students on health careers?
AHEC does that.
Continued medical education for professionals?
AHEC does that.
Training for community health workers?
AHEC does that.
And even more?
AHEC, yeah, they do that.
Learn more today at nwpaahec.org. Northwest Pennsylvania Area Health Education Center, advancing Pennsylvania's health through education. In the Professional Women's Hockey League, they have a rule. If you score a shorthanded goal, the penalty is over. They call it the jailbreak rule. For the Ontario Hockey League, perhaps they are lucky that the Erie Otters are not playing under that rule set, because the Erie Otters are one of the top shorthanded goal scoring teams in the OHL, with shorthanded goal scoring leader Malcolm Spence. Here's a little bit more on how the Otters are doing it and the success that it's bringing them as a team.
When your team is on the penalty kill, the objective is mainly to stop the opponent from scoring. However, when you can find a way to find the back of the net yourself, that can be a big boost of momentum and can change a game. The Erie Otters have been doing just that, netting 6 shorthanded goals so far this season. This puts them at the top of the OHL, tied with the London Knights. Proof of how this can change the game is the fact that when Erie has scored a shorthanded goal so far this season, they are 6-0-0. Leading the way in this shorthanded revolution has been Malcolm Spence, who currently leads the OHL in shorthanded goals with 3. In fact, Spence has more shorthanded goals this season than power play goals, with 3 shorties and 1 on the man advantage. Kerry Torrance and Sam Alfano are the other 2 Otters who have found the back of the net down a man. The big reason for the Otters' shorthanded success is the skill that they have on the ice on the PK. Players like Spence and Torrance playing together gives Erie an advantage, turning defense into attack. Shorthanded goals have been the catalyst to the Otters having big nights offensively, as 4 of the 6 times they've scored on the penalty kill, they have scored at least 5 goals. While it is not the goal to score on the PK, the Otters have done it with the best of them at the OHL level and will look for this to continue to be a part of their success going forward.
Obviously, you don't want to take penalties, but if you have to, you might as well take advantage of the man disadvantage. Great job by Peter Rashinsky, our digital content manager, on putting that piece together with Trevor. Shorthanded goals, if you can get them, it's good work to get. When we come back here on the NWPA AHEC Pregame the Pregame show, we'll get you ready for a Friday night downtown. When it comes to health education in the Erie region, Northwest Pennsylvania AHEC is the name to know. But what is AHEC? Do they provide education to high school students on health careers?
AHEC does that.
Continued medical education for professionals?
AHEC does that.
Training for community health workers?
AHEC does that.
And even more?
Heck, yeah, they do that.
Learn more today at nwpaahec.org. Northwest Pennsylvania Area Health Education Center, advancing Pennsylvania's health through education. Welcome back in. Final time around the block for the NWPA AHEC Pregame the Pregame show here on a Friday night. We've got a whole lot of fun due up ahead, so let's get right into it. First things first, the Arena District is open back in downtown Erie, and that means that our friends before the game and after the game are bringing Otters fans wearing their finest jerseys, the best deals, the best specials, and the best opportunity to be able to take advantage of all of our friendly businesses in downtown Erie. So if you didn't get a chance to be able to go before the game, please make sure you patronize after the game. You're not going to regret it, and you're certainly going to be able to enjoy a nice night out, saving a little bit of cash. It is a college BOGO night. Do not miss out, because you're not going to want to miss out on the opportunity to save a little bit of coin if you're a college student and still enjoy a great Friday night downtown. Start your night off in the right way, and hey, beat that weather outside. It was a little rainy, a little chilly out there today. Merch item of the game, if you have a special kiddo in your life, make sure you stop by the Otters Den Team store while supplies last to get tonight's merch item of the game. It's a youth tee. Our merch item of the game, as always, is presented by Revich Investments. Roscoe's Sports Bar and Grill player to watch for tonight's game on your screen. And hey, last time we had a Roscoe Sports Bar and Grill player to watch, it was Sam Alfano. He ended up with a hat trick and was our first star on Wednesday night. So we will see if this young man can do that here tonight for the Erie Otters against the Greyhounds. And some breaking news that we did tease on Wednesday. We are now officially part of the Rock Entertainment Sports Network family. We are so excited to get this new broadcast venture underway in the Buckeye State to be able to bring Otters hockey all across the state of Ohio. Thank you to our friends and partners at RESN, Resin, they call it, the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. Our first game broadcast as a tape delay will be Wednesday night's game against the Brampton Steelheads, airing tomorrow night at 7:30, immediately following the Cleveland Monsters broadcast. And if you can't join us here tonight, we certainly hope that you will tune into our broadcast. It's going to be a very good one here on a Friday night. Whole lot to talk about, some exciting big news, of course, that you may be privy to now, but you'll hear Stan Butler's thoughts on it, head coach of the Erie Otters, and what it means for the landscape of the Canadian Hockey League and the Erie Otters going forward. Thank you for joining us here tonight on the NWPA AHEC Pregame the Pregame show. It's going to be a whole lot of fun, and we are looking forward to being alongside you for the fun downtown Erie to close out the work week. Talk to you soon. Go Otters. A big Friday night showdown in Erie, Pennsylvania, as two Western Conference foes get a chance to meet for the final time this season. Sioux Greyhounds and Erie Otters in a Friday night battle, and the fans are ready for the second Friday night affair of the season. We're ready with you here on the Otters Broadcast Network. It's the Otters, it's the Greyhounds, and it is Friday night Ontario Hockey League action coming up right now. Hello everybody, Sean Bednar, Trevor Cabello alongside me. We are in for a great hockey game here tonight as the Otters and Greyhounds finish out their season series, yes, on November 22nd. 9 days separating these two teams meeting, and the Otters, they're smelling blood in the water. They want redemption. They played a tough game. Bryce Martin had their number with the hat trick, but now you're on home ice.
Yeah, it was a huge game for the Sioux Greyhounds and for Brady Martin leading the way, their leading scorer last time these two teams met just over a week ago, last Wednesday up in Sault Ste. Marie, which feels like a lifetime ago that we were up there with how long that bus ride takes. But now they're the team that had the long bus ride. However, they had a little bit of it broken up because they were in Niagara last night. Things did not go well for the Sioux Greyhounds, a 7-2 loss at the hands of a pretty solid Niagara Ice Dogs team. So they're going to be coming in with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder here tonight. And for the Greyhounds here, they're going to look to try and turn things around. They're coming off of a big win against the Erie Otters. They know they can beat them, but it did come in overtime, and I think a pretty good point last time the Otters met them.
I would say so, and if you've been following the Erie Otters the last few years when they've been at home against the Sioux Greyhounds, this is the first time in my Otters career, and this is season 4 for me. First time they haven't met on on Thanksgiving. Again, the Otters do not have a Thanksgiving home game this year. I don't know if you're privy to it or remember it, but every single one of those games has been a dramatic come-from-behind victory where the Otters seem to be down 2 or 3 goals, score 5 unanswered, and win. I don't know if we'll be in for that here tonight with the goaltending matchup that we'll have, but hey, it has always been a dandy when these two teams meet, and there's no reason to believe it'll be any different here tonight.
Yeah, I think we had a late goal, right, to win it last season.
Spencer
Came
Silva.
right down to the wire with the Otters winning that one late in regulation. And, you know, kind of similar to the goal they scored to win last Friday in Saginaw, just late in the game and come up with a big regulation victory. So for the Otters again here tonight, they're looking to continue momentum after a really strong performance on Wednesday night. A great comeback win over the Brampton Steelheads. They're coming in with a lot of momentum, and now you got a chance here to play a team that you just played and go into it here with a little bit of momentum.
A packed Friday night in the Ontario Hockey League, but no better place to be than the Erie Insurance Arena. Otters and Greyhounds coming up in just a few. Steelheads are in town for the only game in town around the Ontario Hockey League, and for the Erie Otters, they would start things off. Who else? Professor Pano, opening scoring.
Creates the turnover, driving to the net, and goes up top to beat Jack Ivankovic and give Erie a 1-0 lead.
Well, we knew it would be a interesting kind of game with goals, but we didn't expect the goal-scoring output we had. Sam Alfano on the man advantage for his first of the night.
Beautifully set up on the power play, and the Otters rewarded.
Erie allows 4 unanswered, but sometimes it's the shorty that gets it done.
The Otters are the kings of shorthanded goals, or near to it in the OHL. That's a big one for Malcolm Spence.
This would start off a comeback push. Kerry Terrans continuing what's been a great month for him.
That fadeaway one-timer, a great setup from Edwards, and a rocket.
Erie looking to put the pedal to the metal and close this one out. Great feet in front. Sam Alfano, perfect bounce, and the Otters would take advantage for Spence's second of the night.
Could not have a better bounce off the boards, and Malcolm Spence rewarded in front.
Malcolm Spence, he's a very generous guy. He gives the favor right back.
Great feed right in front. Sam Alfano comes up big and adds on to the Otter lead.
Erie looking to put this one away. Who else? The Hat Man. It's Sam Alfano to bring him down.
Alfano, just an unbelievable night. His first OHL hat trick, giving the Otters a win.
A lot of thoughts after the game.
Yeah, they played a heck of a hockey game. And look, they had a tough assignment tonight. Brampton's a good hockey team. They got some good players over there. I know they're down a few guys, and credit to them, they fought hard. But at the end of the day, that line persevered. And we're no stranger to it. We see it every day as coaches in practice, and we're really happy for that group. Yeah, look, if you could score more on your power plays than the opposition, it's a great thing, and we were able to do that tonight. They do some unique things on the power play, so it was a good adjustment for our guys, and they got the one, but we were able to score one on the penalty kill, and then the power was dynamite tonight. They executed great. Credit to Coach Wes and the guys for figuring that out, and it was a big difference in the game. It's huge. Look, at the end of the day, we were still down 4-2 at one point, and we were able to come back and win hockey games. So the belief, the confidence, the push, just putting your head down and work. Guys weren't pointing fingers at each other. It's easy to play the blame game a little bit when you go down. But kudos to the guys. It starts with the leadership group, and guys pushed. Third period was dynamite. I thought we did a really good job of protecting the lead when we got one, and we're happy to get 2 points.
Yeah, we believe in ourselves. We know that we can take on that line. We did our home opener. We feel like we didn't get the same outcome as a team, but we know we can play with those guys when all 3 of us are working hard, and tonight we just showed why we're a top line in the league.
I think that's really good. It's funny you mentioned that, because on the bench there, I think we went up 5-4, whatever it was, and it was still a bit early in the period, and I just looked at the guys. I said, hey, we got to keep going here. Can't let off the gas, right? That's what they want us to do, so that they can walk on top of us and get momentum back. But hey, we kept it in our favor, and we kept pushing. Awesome.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
For the Erie Otters, they came in against a team in the Brampton Steelheads. Again, the Steelheads organization at large, no wins against them last season. Season prior, they gave the Otters fits. First meeting of the season was the home opener for the Erie Otters. This season, they gave them fits. Again, they are a down team. They're ninth in the Eastern Conference. They have a lot of players out, just like the Sault Greyhounds team. You still have to get the win. And they finally get that 700-pound gorilla off their back, and they get that win against the Steelheads.
Yeah, the numbers coming into the game did not look good for the Otters in terms of the last 5 years playing Brampton, so they were able to kind of slay some demons. And I think that was a big-time confidence-boosting win for this Otters group. And again, like you mentioned, those are the games you have to win, right? You look at a game tonight against Sault Greyhounds team. They're coming in kind of beat up, right? The tough loss. You got to find ways to dig deep and win those games. Even like you look ahead to the Owen Sound game coming up next Wednesday. Those are the type of games that playoff teams and great teams win. And I think with the Sault Greyhounds, it's a pretty good hockey team, even with some of the injuries and some of the guys they're missing. I mean, Owen Allard being out is a huge miss for the Greyhounds, rather. So for them, again, you just got to find ways to take advantage of these type of games and come up with big victories.
And especially in a game like tonight, if you are in the Sioux persuasion here, you have to make sure it's more than just Brady Martin who's getting the job done for you. Hat trick helps, but it's going to take a full team effort with the number of pieces that they're missing here tonight. Was talking to the voice of the Greyhounds, Jerry Liscombe, and he was talking about 3 players went down with injury last night alone. I said, what was happening last night? Dirty game? He said, just bad luck. And sometimes at this time of the year, bad luck, the battle of attrition, all comes into effect, but unfortunately or fortunately, it's next man up in the Ontario Hockey League.
It really is, and you look at what the Otters went through last year with the goaltending situation, right? No matter what, next man up, but it's tough, and you got to find ways to dig deep and battle through that. The Brampton Steelheads, unfortunately for them, really haven't been able to, and I think that's why they've fallen down the standings. With this Greyhounds team, they're well coached. John Dean is an unbelievable head coach in this league, and one thing that they have, that Brampton does have, is great goaltending. So Charlie Schenkel, who's been one of the top netminders in the Ontario Hockey League, he is certainly tough, and the Otters going to have to try and find a way to solve him tonight.
We'll show you his stats later on when we show you the goaltending matchup, but Charlie Schenkel, in some regards, one of the best goaltenders statistically in the Ontario Hockey League, is going up against a very potent Erie offense here tonight. When we come back on the Otters Broadcast Network, we'll hear from a coach from the Sioux side about, well, the battle of attrition, what they've got to do here tonight.
OHL Live on CHL TV.
What a goal by Michael Misa!
Every goal.
What a rip!
Every save.
What a save by Oscar!
On every device.
Doesn't get better than that!
Here's the rookie. Schaefer shoots and scores!
In every market.
Beckett Seneca scores!
All season long.
Green Tree went through! Green Tree scores!
Subscribe now at watch.chl.ca. OHL Live, the home of every OHL game.
Welcome back into the Otters Hockey pregame show, and welcome on into another edition of Across the Ice, getting to know an opponent who has become quite familiar over the last week to the Erie Otters and the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, and so pleased to be joined by assistant coach Daniel Nikandrov. Coach, thank you so much for taking some time.
You're very welcome. Happy to be here.
All right, so Coach, obviously a little bit of a tough one last night in Niagara. What is the key for you guys to bouncing back tonight?
Yeah, I think we felt that it was a strange one. We did a lot of things well, but then we made some crucial mistakes. I think Coach Dean will be looking for us to clean up some of those mistakes, but also continuing hammering the nail with some good habits.
A couple of guys out of the lineup. Saw Owen Allard getting some work on the ice today. How big is it going to be once you get those guys back in?
Oh, it's going to be huge, and it has been huge for us already. Like we were missing Owen for the early part of the year, so he's obviously a big impact for us. At the same time, we've had a lot of players step up. I mean, we just added Jordan Sharon from the Air Centennials. I mean, we've got bodies coming in, and they've done a really good job for us.
I was going to mention Sharon. What have you seen from him so far in his couple of games with you guys?
He's got a tremendous engine. He's a kid who he walks in the room, and I've had a chance to have some individual meetings with him. He just loves the game, and you love that. There's a certain energy about him that he brings in. You see it in meetings, you see it on the bench. And yesterday, obviously, the game is not flowing the way we'd want it to flow on the scoreboard for us, but his game doesn't change. He just loves being out there, and it's in the best way. It's magnetic for everybody else that's around him.
Brady Martin, a hat trick last time these two teams met just over a week ago. How big has he been for your guys' success this year?
Huge, and Marty continues to get better. That's the one thing that's really stood out for me from meeting him earlier this summer until now. His progress seems exponential. Every week he does something something new. He adds something to his game, and he's growing so much. And the best part about Marty, he is similar to Jordan, but in a different way. He's very magnetic, so he brings other people with him, which is huge.
Seeing a team twice in this short of a span and then not seeing them again, how does that affect preparation?
You know what? We chatted about this a little bit yesterday. I don't think it changes too much early in the season. I think if we were later in the year and this was maybe a potential playoff matchup, then it would change things for us a little bit. We'd be looking at things with some intricacies and whatnot. At this stage, we're continuing to build our game. So our focus is Greyhounds hockey. I'm sure the Otters' focus is Otters hockey. And then we duke it out later tonight.
Coach, always a lot of fun when these two teams meet. Thank you so much for the time.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
We'll step aside, take a break. More to come from the Erie Insurance Arena. You are watching the Otters Hockey Pregame Show.
A busy night around the OHL. So busy, our game is not even listed on here because we have to make sure we get our GOJHL game of the night as well. Oshawa at Brantford, Peterborough at Kingston, Niagara at Brampton, Windsor at Kitchener, Owen Sound, London, Guelph at Sudbury, Ottawa at Sarnia, Flint at Saginaw, the Battle of I-75, and Air Centennials at the Port Colborne Sailors at the Vail Center here tonight. A big win last night for the Port Colborne Sailors, and now they find themselves on home ice. If you're doing the math back home, that is 16 games in the OHL, or 16 teams in action, plus the Otters here tonight. Only 2 teams off tonight. A busy night means a good night in the OHL.
Yeah, very busy night in the OHL. And speaking of the Air Centennials, Jordan Sharon, who's in the lineup for the Sioux Greyhounds, has just recently signed from there. So a little alumni tie back right there. But no, a lot of good games tonight. You've got the I-75 Divide Cup, always a fun one there at the Dow Event Center. And then Windsor at Kitchener is another one that really sticks out. 2 really good Western Conference teams going head-to-head.
When we come back here on the Otters Broadcast Network, Trevor will give you his keys to tonight's game, and we'll get this hungry crowd ready for some hockey action in downtown Erie. Good things are brewing in Erie at Lavery Brewing Company. Lavery is an independent craft brewery creating innovative ales, traditional lagers, and beer that gives back. Their quickly expanding urban brew pub also offers modern American cuisine in a cozy atmosphere. Located just blocks from the Erie Insurance Arena at 128 West 12th Street. Grab a pregame pint and support local. Lavery Brewing, brewing innovative ales in small batches. For more information, head to laverybrewing.com.
Let's take a look at Cabea's keys, and we went with a bit of a racing theme tonight, given that Greyhounds, right, they race. So start your engines for the Sioux Greyhounds. Got to get off to a quick start and finish line again, going out and trying to finish off the game. That's something that, you know, they were able to do last time these two teams met with that late goal to tie the game and send it to overtime. Now on the Otters side of things tonight, again, final lap, that same kind of idea of finishing strong. The Otters were certainly able to finish strong on Wednesday night with a big third period and a big win over the Brampton Steelheads. And again, green flag, play fast, right? Play strong and get off to that strong start. So a little bit of a racing theme here tonight, and always fun with these two teams.
It certainly is, and the Greyhound branch is so iconic. Obviously, the players who have came through here, Wayne Gretzky leading the charge from that alumni standpoint, but this is just one of those great rivalries. I know you were talking to voice of the Greyhounds, Jerry Liscombe, earlier today, saying there were so many great playoff battles between these two teams when you were growing up, and you know, just these teams don't get to meet often. They are they only meet twice despite being conference foes, but every time they meet, it's worth the travel, it's worth the battle, and it's worth the wait.
It really is, and you know, the Game 6 in 2015, you had Sportsnet here in a nationally televised game across Canada, and just an unbelievable night as the Erie Otters were able to win, go on to that championship series, unfortunately fall to the Oshawa Generals, but just a great little rivalry for two teams, again, that only see each other twice due to the separation between Erie and the Sioux. But you mentioned the iconic brand of the Greyhounds, of course, very Red Wings-esque with the uniforms, but the logo with the Greyhound running, and you know, you see that jersey and you just instantly think of winning. And just one of the most iconic OHL franchises. They really honor their history well at the GFL Memorial Gardens.
Caps as Emma Rose Lewis performs O Canada and the Star Spangled Banner.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. Oh,
As it's the Sioux Greyhounds, and it is Friday night OHL action here in downtown Erie, Pennsylvania. Thrilled to be alongside you for what's going to be a good battle. Erie Otters and Greyhounds, final meeting of the season, and the Otters are looking for revenge on a Friday night after an overtime loss 9 days ago.
Should be a good one here on this Friday night as we take a look at tonight's goaltending matchup. Here this evening, you've got a couple of guys who catch with the wrong hand. How often do you see that? Two right-handed catching goaltenders. Charlie Burns, back and fresh off of a very good performance at the Dort Financial Center in Flint. He'll make his first start here in this building this season. Charlie Schenkel, who has been one of the top netminders in the Ontario Hockey League all season long, he will go for the Hounds here tonight. So great goaltending matchup. Charlie Burns, I think he got a lot of confidence back with that performance in Flint. Let's hope that it continues to rub off and he can play well tonight.
No one deserves anything in sport. You have to earn everything. Man, Charlie Burns deserved to win on Saturday night.
And how about going against your hometown team tonight?
Two teams line up at center ice. Fans are hungry. Second game of a 5-game homestand, and we are underway in downtown Erie. Thank you for joining us here tonight. We're in for a good one. Back below the goal line, Matthew Schaefer working this one. Up it'll go to Sam Alfano. He's the big man on campus today. 3 goals last time out for his first career OHL hat trick. He's a special player. Special players do big things, and Sam Alfano did big things against Brampton.
And we talked about this a lot in the office this week. Sam Alfano is so built for pro hockey. He's a big guy. He's such a powerful forward. And, one area where he's really improved is his skating. I think that was one thing you could consider a bit of a downfall for him. But he has really improved with his skating over this season. And he's a guy who the Otters have counted on immensely.
And he has delivered. He is the leading goal scorer for this Otter team. He is a top 5 shooting quantity player in the OHL. Quality is there as well, certainly as well. Back at the blue line, it'll go a little too far for Spence, and down the length of the ice it'll go. Erie has 2 shots to none for the Sioux Greyhounds here tonight. 40 seconds gone by in the opening period. The Greyhounds looking to rectify a tough Thursday night last night against the Niagara Ice Dogs. The Otters are going to keep good going after a strong Wednesday night performance. Top of the right circle it'll go. Ty Henry battling for this one down below the goal line. Durant's with it and found back right wing side. It'll go all the way down the ice and out of the zone as this one's back not for an icing. They'll be taken back below the goal line. Moved here by Jordan Sharon. The blue line it'll go and lost out of the zone by Spencer Evans. Delayed offside. He'll have to get it back. Out of the zone, the Otters will bring this one. Moving it forward, here's Dylan Edwards due up and in. Edwards coming in offside. Edwards, who thought he had that first goal that Sam Alfano had as his first of his hat trick night, but Dylan Edwards certainly getting his of late.
Yeah, Dylan Edwards has been terrific in contributing with a point again. He has just been fantastic for the Otters going forward and ranked 5th in points this season on this Otters team, and that's been because of a really strong stretch.
Face-off just outside of the offensive end for the Erie Otters. They found their success on Wednesday night because their offense was continuously getting opportunities in the offensive end. And just 90 seconds into this one, Erie has both offensive opportunities in the game among either team. So it'll find its way forward, entering in out of the mid-slot and held onto by Burns. He gets his first grab of the night and his first save for a friendly whistle.
Nice drive from Carson Andrew working his way toward the front of the net, forehand to the backhand, and a good strong save from Burns. Also on this line, Sam Bonus with these Sioux Greyhounds, who dropped the gloves with Nicholas Halamago last time they met just over a week ago in the Sioux.
Halamago, probably one of the nicest kids you'll meet. Not a guy I'd want to drop the gloves with. Certainly not. He's got that Northern Ontario strength, and I'm sure being able to fight against the closest geographical team to his hometown as this one finds its way through for the first goal of the game. Greyhounds off of the face-off score, and it's a 1-0 lead for the team from Sault Ste. Marie. Goal line led by Sam Bonus.
Yeah, Sam Bonus just jumps in after this face-off was won, and that's one that Charlie Burns is going to want to have back. First shot of the game that he faces gets beyond him, and Ty Henry turnover down there, and Bonus didn't get much on this shot. He's just trying to take it away from Ty Henry, who coughed it up off the draw and sends it to the back of the net. So good start for the Greyhounds on the road and kind of a goal out of nothing.
Yeah, just a pretty pedestrian-looking face-off win. but you put the pucks on net for a reason, and sometimes strange things happen. I mean, it was the game between the Oilers and the Minnesota Wild the other night. It was a dump in from atop the logo at center ice. Marc-Andre Fleury tried to play it with the paddle, and instead it turned into a goal. Top of the left circle, it'll go. Bonus in after this one. You'll take them how you get them, and especially when you're a team who's trying to get back after a snake-bitten night on the road the night before. Shot in and held on to, as that is the first shot from the newest of the Erie Otters in Callum Hughes, formerly of the West Kelowna Warriors in the British Columbia Hockey League, a Boston University commit. Finds his way into the Ontario Hockey League, signed earlier today.
Yeah, that's beautifully done by Hughes as he's able to work his way in over the line. Just took it away almost from Gabriel Frasca, and driving in, gets a good quick shot away, and Schenkel is there to shut the door.
Worry not, we will talk lots more about Callum Hughes as the night goes on, including Stan Butler's thoughts on the recent NCAA ruling that allowed for a player like Callum Hughes to be able to play in a league like the OHL. Out of the zone, this one will go, and back into the defensive end. It'll be played forward. Spencer Evans back in after it. Phillips throws a not-so-friendly shoulder. Out from the right wing side it'll go as David Holla brings it out of the zone. Entering in, left wing side. Sauter gets all tangled up down there. And this one will find its way back below the goal line. It was Brady Martin who had the hat trick last time these two teams met. They got pulled down by Sauter. Top of the right circle, Challenger. He's sent down onto the ice. That's Braden Valeris who sends him down that way. Inside of the near corner it'll go. 17-18 left to go in the opening frame. It's a 1-0 lead in favor of the Sioux Greyhounds. Into neutral ice and back down below the goal line it'll go. Shots favoring the Erie Otters in this one, 3-2. At the blue line and moved out of the zone. Back in. Caden Carlisle sends this one down and in. Carlisle out right wing side. Spence with it below the goal line. And after it goes to Lexi Davio. Davio up for Alfano. Alfano. Lead feed forward as this one's brought in by Femus and Spence. Femus shot. That one hits off of the backside and finds its way over to the wide wall. Up on the right wing side, Charlie Hilton with it as the puck goes up in the air. Good crowd on hand for a weekday game as the Erie Otters have the second game of a 5-game homestand here in the friendly confines. And after so many games on the road, you're happy to have some home cooking. Entering in left wing side, collected in the slot momentarily by Marco Mignosa. And an arm goes up from the official as we're going to get our first penalty of the game with 16:20 left to go in the opening frame.
Frustration penalty from Ty Henry. Obviously had that turnover early on in the game, and he's been trying to hit everything that moves since. And Mignosa had his back turned right there and ends up heading to the wall, and Ty Henry will go to the box for what will likely go as a boarding call. And the Otters onto the penalty kill early on in the game.
Well, penalty kill. Had a shorthanded goal. We had in our pregame show a little feature about shorthanded goals from our digital content manager, Peter Rashinsky. Erie's been pretty good shorthanded this season. Again, the goal of a penalty kill is not to score, but if you can, you consider that a bonus.
That's huge, and the Otters tied at the top of the OHL in shorthanded goals with 6 of them. How about Malcolm Spence, who leads the OHL with 6? And a big reason for the shorthanded success is just the amount of skill that the Otters have in the penalty kill. Anytime you're putting Kerry Torrance and Malcolm Spence together, good things will happen.
And they certainly did happen the other night, and it was the start of a comeback bug. Erie, after scoring that shorthanded goal against Brampton, well, they never looked back. They did not allow another goal, and they scored, by my math, 5 unanswered. Watch out, Sam Alfano getting loose. Alfano in front! Makes the strangest kick, and it finds its way back behind. That's the lethality of what the Otters can do, as Sam Alfano is eating 4 different Sioux Greyhounds behind the net on a penalty kill. That's why they call him the Big Rig.
Great feed to find Alfano going in on a breakaway. He scored the Otters' first shorthanded goal of the season, which also was the Otters' first goal of the season in Kitchener on September 27th.
That game resulted in a victory in the Erie Otters' first 1-0 start in a number of years. Erie bringing it in. Spence as that one's deflected up and out of play. And that was a snap decision made by Charlie Schenkel to be able to get that one saved. 1:06 left to go on the penalty kill.
Great start to the penalty kill for the Otters. Again, just putting the pressure on and showing what they can do shorthanded. Here's another look at the Alfano chance and a good stop from Charlie Schenkel. Otters are out shooting the Greyhounds on this power play 2-0. So that's the case, obviously things going well in the PK.
60 seconds left to go on the PK for the Erie Otters. It is a logistics plus penalty kill. Erie, with its success on the other night, sees themselves at 79.5%. By the way, that power play, after a pretty good night, now they're number 2 in the OHL, continuing their rise on the up and up. Out through the neutral zone, entering in from the right wing side. Moved in by Jordan Sharon. Conflicted pass as Kerry Tarrance got in the way. For as an offensive weapon as he is, he's a very good penalty killer, and one of the reasons the Ducks are so high on him. Top of the right circle, this one shot in. Burns stands up to meet it and brings it back down to earth. 29 seconds left to go on the Otters, a man disadvantage as Burns comes up with his second save of the night.
So far, so good on the penalty kill, especially that first minute or so of it, where the Otters were possessing quite a bit in their offensive zone. Now, Greyhounds starting to establish a little bit more as they get that top unit on the ice for the final 28 seconds.
Face off right circle. Not able to be won back by Hammond. Big shot. Oh, that one absorbed by Matthew Schaefer. Top of the right circle, it'll go. That's a bruise for an alternate captain. This one played in left wing side. Missing the net on an opportunity from Brady Martin. Top of the right circle. 14 seconds left to go on the kill. Shot in. That one finding its way back behind. Will it escape the zone? No, Martin will make sure it doesn't. Moved in back below the goal line. Schaefer looking for it. It'll be taken by Phillips and Ambrosio and brought out the rest of the way is Erie. 1 for 1 on the PK. Hammond, mid-slot. Hammond moving and shooting, and that one held onto by the netminder with 14 minutes and 11 seconds left to go, and a little extra discussion after the whistle here.
Excellent work by the Greyhounds at the end of that power play, creating a couple of glorious scoring opportunities, but a couple of big saves from Charlie Burns and a couple of missed nets.
Let's go to our trivia question. This is the worst part of the night for Trevor and I because we can't seem to get it right. What is the oldest team in the OHL? Man, my mind wants to say the Kitchener Rangers.
That's where I was thinking too. Kitchener, the Greyhounds are certainly up there, but I don't think they were reestablished till the 60s. I know for a fact the Rangers were established in 1963, so I think it's going to go a little beyond that.
Let's see how well we do tonight. If you're keeping score back home through the course of our trivia, it's not been pretty. Erie below the goal line working this one is trying to feed Callum Hughes. Outside of the right circle it'll go. Back below the goal line. Hughes not able to get in the way of that one. Out of the zone and all the way back inside of the defensive end. Davio with it. Davio. They'll bring this one across the blue line and back in the cross center ice. Move below the goal line. Schinkel moves this one forward from the right wing side. Jumping the rush there with Callum Hughes. His first OHL game, his first game at the major junior level. Back below the goal line it'll go as no, this one will be held onto by Burns initially and then he'll send it the rest of the way behind. Ty Henry moving it back for Pano Themis. Themis, as this one finds its way in back below the goal line. Schinkel works it around right wing side, outside of the circles, and move back in through neutral ice before it could find Jordan Sharon. Move left wing side, pushed forward by Brady Smith. Sharon and Smith battling for this one against the near wall. Erie getting it back. Shots are 5-4 in favor of the Erie Otters here. Moved in back below the goal line, near corner it'll go. 12:45 left to go in the first period. Themis below the goal line. Themis moving and passing, not able to connect with Alexi Davio, and below the goal line it'll go as it's taken back by Charlie Burns. And a whistle all the way back inside of the defensive end. The arm going up from the official. We'll find out more when we come back from our media timeout.
My OHL provides an amazing academic opportunity. Every OHL player is entitled to 1 year of academic scholarship for each year played at the OHL level. One thing that's nice about the OHL package is you get to go to university as a little bit more mature and you can kind of maybe see for yourself what you're looking for in a career. There's a number of guys who I've played against or played with who have had just remarkable experiences using their scholarship packages.
Welcome back into the Erie Insurance Arena. Erie Otters and Sioux Greyhounds as the Otters find themselves going on to the Logistics Plus penalty kill for the second time tonight. It is Otter forward Malcolm Spence with a 2-minute against him.
Well, that's certainly not good if you are looking for a shorthanded goal because your most likely source is in the penalty box right now, but Erie will head back to the penalty kill. So far, so good on the first one, but it was this top unit who's on the ice now that was giving them some fits toward the end of the power play. So we'll see if the Greyhounds can continue to set up and see if they can maybe find a way to find the back of the net.
For unsportsmanlike conduct. Time of the penalty, 7:27. Spence, 2 for unsportsmanlike conduct at 7:27.
Well, now that's unique. Malcolm Spence with unsportsmanlike conduct. As a second it came off, they'll put it right back on. Not a player you usually see have that called against them.
Not at all. Malcolm Spence usually one to kind of shy away from something there. So I wonder if it was maybe something he said or what it could have been, but not an ideal penalty to take. You never want to have one like that.
Face-off, defensive end for the Erie Otters. Logistics plus penalty kill officially gets underway. Outside of the right circle. This one moved back behind by Brody McConnell Barker, and down the ice it'll go. Opening minutes and seconds of this penalty kill. See the Otters get one down the ice. Back in below the goal line. Here come the Greyhounds, bringing it out from the right wing side, and they'll enter in. Trying to get around the man. They will do such, and that one's just a floater that finds its way in the near corner. Taken back left wing side by Brady Martin. Martin down, gets this one back at the hash marks. Top of the right circle, he'll go with it. Waiting, shooting, that one up in the air. Loose in the blue paint, pushed around, and back below the goal line it'll go as Burns stands tall. Move back for Brady Martin again. Martin mid-slot shot, loose in front for a moment, but held on to as Travis Hayes was coming in with a head of steam.
Good save, Charlie Burns, who's starting to look a little bit more comfortable as this game has gone on. Greyhounds putting on pretty sustained pressure throughout the first 44 seconds of this power play, and really nice work by the Hounds putting on the pressure, but Burns shutting the door.
Callum Hughes being welcomed to the Erie Insurance Arena. And for good measure, this is a player with a lot of high intangibles and tangibles. And just part of the Erie Otters now getting the experience of the floodgates opening with the NCAA CHL ruling. I know this has been the topic du jour, and it's the topic of the season so far for us.
It really has been, and I certainly wouldn't expect Callum to be the last, right? We've already seen quite a few players coming into the CHL, and Hughes is I think, going to fit in really well here in Erie, PA.
Again, we'll talk more about it during our second intermission, as you'll hear from head coach Stan Butler on his thoughts. But the Erie Otters will see the Kitchener Rangers bring 2 former junior-level players as some more infraction below the goal line happens.
Yeah, you don't commit to BU by accident,
Nope.
right?
Nope.
So I think, you look at that alone and the amount of great NHL players that have gone through that Boston University program. And, hopefully Callum Hughes will be one of the next along that line.
And Callum Hughes, again, we'll talk more about him, but Hughes not related to the NHL Hughes brothers that you may know. His first cousin, goes to BU. Also is named Jack Hughes, but not to be confused with the Jack Hughes of the Hughes bloodline that is currently running rampant in the NHL.
However, his dad is still the GM of the Montreal Canadiens.
Yes, that's correct. So good bloodline in that Hughes family, regardless of which Hughes you're coming from here. This Hughes coming from Massachusetts itself, so when you're in Mass, you want to play for BU. You want to go there. You want to be a Terrier. You want to play in the bean pot. But right now, he wants to be an Erie Otter, and he wants to compete for some other trophies. Spence, Schaefer waiting down as this one finds its way back in. Erie trying to find some offensive scoring from Matthew Schaefer, one of those players that a lot of folks are looking out for what his NHL career will look like. Worked in, Martin shot, and nice and easy into the glove of Charlie Burns. 16 seconds left to go on the penalty kill. Burns in great positioning right there and had that glove confidently.
Yeah, great glove save, and again, confidence I think is a great word for how he looks like he's playing. I think that game in Flint really got something back. I was a little bit worried when the first shot of the game goes in and kind of went in the way it did, but Burns has recovered very nicely. Also want to go back to the 2-on-1. Alfano trying to get that pass across. He had a little bit of a lane to get it there, but a puck rolled up on him, and that's why Schaefer wasn't able to get a clean one-timer off. So pretty close to Erie maybe having a chance to tie the game.
Top of the right circle, this one will go back to the blue line as we are in the final stretch here on the penalty kill. Erie bringing this one back down the ice. That should just about do it. And the Otters 2 for 2 on the man disadvantage so far tonight. Numbers you'll certainly take, but you gotta start to alleviate the number of penalties that you're taking here if you're Erie. Up against the near wall, this one will go, remaining inside of the end of the Greyhounds. And Carlisle sends that one to the moon with 10:20 left to go in the first period.
Good stick in the lane once again from the Otters. And that's something I don't know if we've seen become as much of an identity with this team as it has been over previous years, but the blocked shots have really jumped out tonight. Matthew Schaefer had that great block on the first penalty kill, and there's a good stick in the lane to knock that one up and away and keep it away from Charlie Burns.
Face off in the left circle. No drop on the draw there as Charlie Hilton had a little extra cross check against his opposition in Gabriel Frasca. Back below the goal line, this one will go. Ty Henry taking it up and out. Henry moves this one into the neutral zone. Hughes, who's getting a lot of ice time in his OHL debut. This one moved down and sent away from a Gabriel Frasca pass. Top of the right circle, Hughes walking, moving it himself, shot over the top of the net. Out from the left wing side, trying the rebound game, and this one will be taken away by the Hounds. Greyhounds moving back as Carlisle works it out from the right wing side, just past the halfway mark of period number 1. Below the goal line, Charlie Hilton with it. Hilton works back, Hughes passes this one down. It's Ambrosio moving it forward, and in from the right side, it'll go for Hammond. Hammond chips it down the ice to himself, takes a bounce off the back wall, now hits behind the net. Frasca with it. Frasca, bottom of the right circle, given back to Edwards, moved up for Sauter, shot, rebound, right in front of the net, and it escapes cleanly. Entering in, here's Martin driving the net front, and that one sent back behind by Charlie Burns. Erie starting to get its offensive touches back as this one moves up the ice. Wesley Royston brings it in below the goal line. Royston lost it back, reinforcements come for Erie, and instead it'll find its way out to the neutral zone. Moved in left wing side. Down below the goal line it'll go. Schaefer in after this one. Schaefer for Edwards, and Terrance wanted to go north, but he left the puck south. Sauter back in the near corner, Royston. Royston will feed this one up for Schaefer. Schaefer for Terrance, up against the near wall, and back inside of the defensive end it'll go. Sauter, a flapjack puck finds its way back below the goal line. Schenkel comes out of his net to play it. Edwards back to the blue line. It'll go for Halamago, sent in, and that one finding its way inside of the near corner. Back at the blue line. Davio, as that one was just brought in by Sharon. Just under 8.5 left to go here in the first period. 7-8, the Otters trailing in shots in this one as the Greyhounds keep the pressure on, and this one finds its way out of play. Otters will have another draw inside of the defensive end, and boy, that goal, it's obvious to say it really woke up this Greyhounds team, but they have really held in a lot of the TOP, that time of possession, on their offensive side of the ice.
Yeah, they've been very strong to start the game. They certainly don't look like a team who lost 7-2 last night in St. Catharines. They look strong and really good possession on the offensive side of the puck, and looking to just continue this here throughout this first period. It's been a very strong one for the visitors.
Face off in the right circle inside of the Erie defensive end. Up it'll go, back to the blue line. Spence tried to take a swing at it, wasn't able to get it out of the zone. Moved in the left wing side, back below the goal line it'll go. Erie takes it, still in defensive ice. Themis went skate to stick with it, skates in front of his own net. Luckily, he's a good puck possessor as he moves this one up for Alfano. Down below the goal line it'll go. Themis. Alfano looking after this one toward the near corner, throws it toward the net front. It was taken away before it found its way there. Out of the zone it'll go. 7:47 remaining in period number 1. Henry moving across center ice. He'll just dump this one back in below the goal line. Schenkel. Alfano going in after it. Taken here by Spence. Now out to Davio and out to the neutral zone it'll go. Nearly pocket pick back there as Bonus was waiting for it. Davio down in front of his net. Spence throwing an extra check down there. Worked in right wing side. Here come the Greyhounds in. Thrown toward the net front and just cleared aside as Davio got his stick in the way. 9th shot of the evening for the Sioux Greyhounds. There's number 10 as it's held on to by Burns with a little extra collision in front.
Well, you expect to see this after last week, just seeing the same team. And, we saw it when the Barrie Colts came here after Erie was there very recently beforehand. And again, a little bit of extracurricular stuff. And I think for the Otters, you want to see them continue to try and set the tone physically because, this is a Greyhounds team that likes to play a physical style of game and can be tough to play against. So if the Otters can continue to kind of set the tone on that side of the puck, well, I think that's a positive for Erie.
Face-off due up in the left circle. Erie still in the defensive end. Shots are 8 for the Otters, 10 for the Greyhounds. And Erie, uncharacteristically, especially on home ice in this month, being held to a low quantity of shots early on. And again, it is early on, but usually at this point in the first period, Erie's tracking more toward 12, 13, 14.
Yeah, it's strange to see them being outshot. Even it feels like they're usually in a higher number, but give credit to the Greyhounds. They've done a great job putting the pressure on.
System's been good for them, and they keep the pressure on. Bottom of the right circle, it'll go. Moved around back by Travis Hayes to the blue line, it'll go. D-to-D passing as this one finds its way back for Spencer Evans. To the blue line and out of the zone. Here's Phillips, not able to connect with Tyler Challenger, and back in the defensive end it'll go as Challenger delivers a little extra check. Now it's brought in. Schaefer with it. Schaefer at the line, shoots it in, and that one deflected away by Schenkel. Looking confident even when he's having to juggle the puck. Into the defensive end it'll go. Erie will chase it back inside of their defensive end deeper as it goes below the goal line. Schaefer letting things breathe a little bit as he brings this one up and out from the left side. Moving down the ice, here's Frasca in with Hughes. Frasca's got it back down in front, it'll go, and sent up and out of play with 6:02 to go as Hughes is sent down to the ice. And taking exception to that was Gabriel Frasca.
Well, seeing Gabriel Frasca driving in right there, I think him and Hughes are going to be fun to watch together. They seem like they're going to play off each other pretty well in terms of the type of players that they both are and are going to be. So far, so good for this line. And you throw Brett Hammond in there as well, who's kind of that big guy, right? He can go to the front of the net and use his size to his advantage. So a really interesting line combination that has paid off tonight. They've been very strong.
Shots even at 10-all as this one's won back by the Otters. Henry throws one that goes over the top of the net. Out it'll go to the right wing side. Back into the defensive end. Erie taking this one. Move forward. Hammond with it. Hammond back for Frasca. In it'll go. Frasca for Hughes. Shot in. Rebound opportunity. Right at the net front. The door is shut before it can be sent through. Hughes will take it. Hughes sent back down and in. Right in front. What a poke check by Schenkel. That's why his save percentage is one of the best. No, sorry, the best in the Ontario Hockey League.
That's an unbelievable play. Saved a goal. I think Frasca had him beat.
Moving its way in, outside of the right circle. Now Erie's starting to smell blood in the water, starting to get their offensive attack going. Shut down back there was Dylan Edwards before he could really get himself set offensively. Erie driving in with pressure. It's Wesley Royston back below the goal line. A lead feed out of the zone, and it juggles off of the stick of Travis Hayes. Sauter beats him down below the goal line. Extra check can happen back here, and here's Sauter taking it. Sauter moving at this one, finds its way up to the blue line. Knocked down by Justin Cloutier. And out back into the defensive end, it'll go for Cloutier and co. Caden Carlisle. Entrance forward from Hunter Solomon. Back below the goal line, taken. Here's Nathan Sauter, back it'll go, near wall. Carlisle with it. Carlisle back at the blue line. Save made by Burns. He gets back in a position below the goal line, trying the wraparound attempt, and it finds its way to the wide wall. Erie will lead this one out of the zone. 4:24 left to go. The captain trying to make something happen for the Otters, and it won't work out as it finds its way to the near corner. 4:15 remaining here. First period of play. 11 all our shots as this one finds its way back for an icing. And the Erie Otters find themselves down in a 1-0 game as we head into the final media timeout of period number 1. Welcome back into the broadcast booth. Sean Bednar, Trevor Cabello alongside me. Trevor, it's been back and forth where Erie had the momentum to start off, at least in terms of number of shots. And then the Sioux Greyhounds absolutely took over after they scored the game's only goal so far. But now it feels like Erie growing back into the game after a fast start and then a slow middle.
Well, I think it all started with that shift that the Frasca, Hughes, and Hammond line had. I think they've been Erie's most noticeable line tonight by far. I've really liked the game of this young Callum Hughes and, obviously the shiny new toy, if you will, here in Erie, Pennsylvania. But I love the way that he's teamed up with Frasca in these early stages. And Frasca's kind of had a bit of an up-and-down season here in his first year, just kind of settling into new surroundings here in Erie. But I think Hughes might be the player that he needs to play alongside to really start finding and unlocking the elite talent that is in there for Gabriel Frasca. And we've seen them tonight just really dominate in stretches, and without a Charlie Schenkel poke check, it's a 1-1 hockey game. So for the Otters, maybe that line being the catalyst tonight as opposed to the line that's out there right now with the Spence and Femus and Alfano line. So really impressive stuff from the Otters, getting some great work up and down the lineup.
Callum Hughes, certainly not the biggest player in the world, but man, he really plays an aggressive brand of hockey. This one played toward the net front. Top of the right circle, it'll go. Erie moving it around as it's Malcolm Spence with it. Femus back after it. Spence lost it in the skates. Moved back down for Pano Femus. Erie leads in shots, 12-11. Worked over left wing side, loose in front. Schenkel in the defense, able to make that one work as Spence has got it back once again. Right wing side, it'll go for Pano Femus. Femus gets chopped at the legs and falls down onto the ice as he tries to get back after this one. Davio played with a hand pass, but it was played by the Hounds, so instead it'll move its way into the neutral zone. Davio sends his man toward the wall. 13-11, the Otters lead in shots. They trail 1-0 here as this one's moved in for Martin. Tries to get fancy with it, and a nice job done by Charlie Burns. You have to act and react, and he did just that.
Martin forcing the turnover and flying in on a partial breakaway, and he lost handle of the puck, and Charlie Burns just kind of swipes it up into the air and is able to make the save.
Before this gets back underway, let's go back to our trivia question. Again, the question was, what is the oldest team in the OHL? I think we both agreed the Kitchener Rangers. Oldest team, the Peterborough Petes. They have played 65 OHL seasons. You know, that actually makes a lot of sense. That brand, Steve Yzerman and the co, man, they are iconic.
Yeah, the maroon and white, right? Of course, a classic rink as well. I'm fired up to go there for the first time in January.
It is a unique one. It's almost built like a bowl like this, except the end zones, they just keep going forever.
You got the square boards too, right? And not exactly as rounded as most rinks, but that does make sense. I was thinking more Western Conference when I should have been thinking Eastern Conference, because you've got a lot of the teams out there that, you know, have been around for a long time. And Peterborough, again, one of those organizations, when you think of the OHL, for me, you think of the London Knights, you think of the Sault Greyhounds, the Kitchener Rangers, the Peterborough Petes, and the east side, right, and the Ottawa 67s because of the uniforms.
That's the old OHA days, the Ontario Hockey Association. You ever want to see some interesting stats? Just look up some Memorial Cup winners and Memorial Cup participants back in the early days of major junior hockey. You'll see some interesting names. Back below the goal line, this one goes. So Peterborough Petes, Trevor and I once again are wrong. Martin, top of the right circle, moving this one down. Found in the feet of Matthew Schaefer. And taken back as Schaefer will bring this one forward. Schaefer crossing center ice, brings this one in with Frasca. Back for Frasca. Frasca, down it'll go for Hughes. Hughes shooting! And that one, I think, ended up in the gut initially of Brady Smith and then was grabbed off of him by his goaltender, Schenkel.
Well, that is once again another unbelievable shift from this line. They are just putting the pressure on. There's so much speed between Frasca and Hughes once again finding him in a great lane. He's got to have 3 or 4 shots already in this period. So really, really impressive stuff, and you just got this feeling that he could find his first in the OHL here tonight.
It's certainly trending in that direction. I would say so with how things have started for him here tonight. Hey, you want to make a good first impression, you get to make your OHL debut at home. What better way than getting on the scoreboard? Back below the goal line, this one will go, finding its way to the near wall and out of the zone. Lost it back with Sharon up against the bench of the Otters, and back below the goal line it'll go. Shots are 14-12 Erie. They trail in this one 1-0. It was Bonus with the goal off the second shot of the game for the Greyhounds. It's out of the right circle. And Erie's going to find themselves on the man advantage once this one's touched up. Tripping will be the call, and you get a 2-minute drill here if you're the Erie Otters.
Yeah, sticking the skates of Tyler Challenger, who does a nice job drawing a penalty. And you want to talk about confidence. He's a kid that comes back from winning a gold medal at the U17 World Hockey Challenge. He's looking like a much more different player. Thought he was really noticeable on Wednesday night and draws the penalty. Here's another look. Kind of takes that check, and then right at the end of it there after being tripped up by Evans.
So here we go. Erie Otters find themselves on the man advantage first time. But boy, what a job Wes Wolf has done with his unit to get them successful here. Especially, what was the stat? Goals in 19 of 20 on the power play?
Yeah, something like that. I was talking to him earlier about the power play and their success.
Edwards outside the right circle. Edwards waiting, shooting. That one jumping back below the goal line. Finding its way back inside of the wide corner. Schaefer, no, excuse me, Femus lost it, tried to move that one over. Here's Terrance with it. Terrance down, it'll go for Edwards. Edwards back to Terrance. Terrance over left wing side, waiting is Femus, back to Terrance, down toward the net front. Edwards, it just takes a bad angle for him. Top of the left circle, it'll go. Outside of the circle, miscorrection down there as this one's fouled by Edwards in the corner. Up in the near wall, below the goal line, it'll go. Pano Femus back to the blue line for Schaefer. Schaefer grabs it, moves it for Edwards. Edwards down, left side, off the side of the net, Femus. And down the ice it'll go as this one, we'll see Sam Alfano dropping the gloves. Alfano is down as Femus back below the goal line. And taking exception here is Sam Alfano standing up for his line mate.
This is not a good sign here with Pano Femus down on the ice. He took a shot from Caden Carlisle, the captain of the Sioux Greyhounds, and Alfano standing up for his line mate.
Sam Alfano will head back to the locker room for now. Into the box will go as Sioux Greyhound. Shot 16-12, but most importantly, you hope the player that was down, that's Pano Femus, who's getting off the ice now, will be all right.
Certainly not the guy you can afford to lose if you're the Erie Otters. Their leading scorer here this season. Looks like he's going to go right to the locker room, and hopefully he'll be okay and able to return to this hockey game.
Well, as the discussion happens here, we give you a chance to look ahead to what is coming up during our intermission report. We've got a fun one for you. First up, hi, Dr. Nick. We will have Dr. Nick Viglione from Perseus House here to talk about the great work and programming that they are doing over there at Perseus House. Schaefer and Spence will talk about the CHL USA Challenge, and we'll have highlights through 20 minutes of play. A whole lot of fun coming up here, and it's been an entertaining one so far.
Yeah, it has been certainly, and you've got now just over a minute of power play time, which is going to be interesting to see if maybe Alfano gets an instigator, because unfortunately, it seems as if when a player stands up for his teammate these days, you do get the extra instigator. So hopefully that will not be the case from an Otters perspective, and you'll just get 2 5s for fighting and we'll play on. So we'll see if there's anything from the initial play as well.
Well, they're having a long look here, and now they are talking with Stan Butler about exactly what occurred and the decision that they're making. The officials still talking with the scores box as well. Right now it's a penalty up against Sam Alfano. We'll see if anything's added on the Sioux Greyhound side.
Yeah, unfortunately didn't get a good look at the hit because it was behind the play. I was watching the puck on the clearing effort, and all of a sudden look back the other way and you got gloves off, and Carlisle and Alfano dropping the gloves. Looks like Sam's gonna get the extra.
So the officials have left the scores table. Multiple officials are over now at the Otters bench. And just waiting to get final confirmations here, as it appears it'll be the Otters who will find themselves with the only man headed to the box.
You know, and I agree with Stan Butler. He's not too happy with this. And, you know, I don't understand how when you defend your teammate, you step up for your teammate, how you can get an extra one for dropping the gloves. I understand that the player safety side of things with fighting and what goes along with that. But for me, if you're going to stick up for your teammate after a hit like that, and you know, you shouldn't have to fight over a clean hit. That's something that I'm a big time proponent of. But you know, where in a situation where a player ends up hurt from it, I think you should have every right to be able to drop the gloves and to stick up for your teammate.
The Erie Otters will find themselves on 4-on-4 hockey now, as an opportunity comes for the Greyhounds inside of their defense and their offensive end. So 4-on-4 hockey is underway, and it's only Alfano in the box. Erie looking for this one, finding its way back up against the near wall. Here's Schaefer with it, back below the goal line. Schaefer. Move back, Malcolm Spence with it. Spence. The fans react to the penalty call here against Sam Alfano as this one moves its way out. Back and it'll go for Ty Henry. Henry working this one back. Royston serving the penalty for Malcolm Spence, or excuse me, for Sam Alfano as this one finds its way in. Here's Schaefer. Schaefer moving the shot. That one finding its way back below the goal line. Schaefer with it. Schaefer, up it'll go from the left wing side. Terrance looking in after it. Terrance still battling for this one. Schaefer sends this one down and in. Knuckle puck still loose in front of the net. Spence trying to find it. 12 seconds left to go here. Spence hit up high. They don't make the call as he gets high sticked, and this one will find its way up the ice. Moving in, left wing side. Lost the puck back. Spence with an extra shoulder, and that's where we will find ourselves as we are through a very exciting 20 minutes of play here. The Erie Otters trailing 1-0 in this one with a 17-13 shot advantage. This game has had just a little bit of everything so far, but the only thing it's missing is an Otter goal as we've got a 1-0 lead in favor of the road team.
Yeah, very emotional first period between these two teams who've become recent rivals over the last couple of weeks. And, you know, you see a fight in the first period, a fight in both games between these two teams already. And, you know, quite the first period here at the Erie Insurance Arena. And for the Otters, unfortunate for them as they are trailing by a goal, but on the other side of that, I think there are still some positives to be happy with for Erie.
And I would certainly agree with that. For the Erie Otters side, you put up 17 shots, and they were at, 6-7 as we were nearing the halfway mark. Certainly not numbers that we're used to seeing from the Erie Otters side, but hey, they took advantage of the opportunities when they found them. They started pouring them on heavily. They just got to find a way to beat Charlie Schenkel, but that's been the name of the game across the OHL so far this season. He's got the best save percentage in the OHL. His numbers don't lie, and he's been showing it so far. He's had to stick up a lot for his team.
He really has, especially in the second half of that period. The Otters started to grow into it a lot more and were able to create some opportunities, and Schenkel just kept shutting the door. Really impressive work from the Sioux Greyhounds netminder, able to keep the Otters off the board with a couple of great chances. Another point I wanted to hit on quickly is how great that Callum Hughes line has been. We talked about him a lot in this first period. Really impressed with not only his game, but also the game of Gabriel Frasca, right? He has really elevated his game playing alongside Hughes. And then, again, you add Brett Hammond to that, who's a proven goal scorer. He'll go to the front of the net and cause so much havoc. So I like those three playing together. Look for them to maybe get the Otters on the board here tonight.
Erie down 1-0. The Sioux Greyhounds scored on their second shot of the game, and it's been nothing since then. Charlie Burns playing a pretty good game so far. Charlie Schenkel's been perfect so far. We will see who will find that next big goal when we come back here. Intermission report due up next, and we got a whole lot of fun due up ahead.
Born and raised in Erie, tried college first semester, wasn't a fan, so ended up just working in the field, welding. Found out about EC3's welding program and decided to go there. The community college just gives a smaller, more family-like atmosphere. You get to know everybody, and it was awesome. Feels really good to look back on what all I've done there and the accomplishments that I've achieved from there.
Live here, learn here. Apply today at ec3pa.org.
Take control with the all-new CHL app, the home of every team, every fan, and every moment. And now, the CHL app features thousands of live games. Simply find your game of choice, log in with your existing CHL TV account, and stream any game, anytime, any place, live or on demand. The all-new CHL app, now with CHL TV. Find us on the Apple Store or Google Play Store and supercharge your experience today.
And we welcome you back in the Erie Insurance Arena. It has been a fun one so far here, and we are so happy to be joined by CEO of Perseus House and the School of Excellence, Dr. Nick Viglione. Dr. Nick, thank you for joining us here tonight.
Thank you for having me. This is a good night for hockey, and I appreciate being here.
Well, it's much better to be inside here in the friendly confines of the Erie Insurance Arena than the weather that we're dealing with outside. Not quite that winter weather, but boy, that rain's cold.
But we live in Erie. Here it comes.
we sure do. For our viewing audience who may not be privy to the work that is done by Perseus House and the School of Excellence, could you give them a little bit of a elevator pitch of exactly what it is that your organization is?
Absolutely. We are an organization that works with kids that have mental health issues and need some support and guidance to move through some of those barriers that they have. So our staff and our programming is all geared towards supporting the kids that we work with and serve. And I would just encourage anybody who's in need of work right now. We're hiring at all various levels, so we would certainly welcome applications. You can find us online and see what we're up to.
Let's talk about that side. Obviously, Right now, this time of the year is especially when that need for employment and employees is so huge.
Right,
Let's talk
right.
about the recruitment side, credentials, services, benefits, and hours that are offered by Perseus House.
Sure, we have a range of programs and positions that really support folks with high school diploma up through masters, everything from maintenance, clerical, technology, to directly working with kids as a child care staff or a mental health therapist, or there's a wide range.
And
As far as the benefits go, full medical, dental, health, 401k, matching pension, come check us out. We certainly are, if you want to make an impact in the community and with kids, we're a good option for you.
And it's nice to be able to go to bed tonight knowing you're doing work that matters, knowing that you're doing work that positively benefits someone's life.
It's fantastic. I go back to, you really have to enjoy the work. You have to enjoy making that impact and difference. And, I got to give kudos to all of our staff, too. Without our awesome staff, it would be very difficult to move things forward.
Let's talk about the population that you do work with and the services that are specifically offered at Perseus House.
Sure. So we work with kids that are anywhere from ages 12 through 18 to 19. And these kids, again, they primarily come to our Perseus House Incorporated for mental health treatment. And, they're able to move back to the community. Many in our community here in Erie, many probably in the stands right now. I've actually seen a couple kids that we used to have that came up and said hello and are doing very well. So, those are the kids that we're working with. Our Charter School of Excellence is a separate company, but they have their own website, and certainly would encourage anybody who's interested in these kinds of employment opportunities to give us a call and make a difference.
And I've had the benefit of knowing quite a few people who've went through the Charter School of Excellence, and of course we work very closely with Community Access Media, who I know has worked with the Charter School of Excellence.
They're fantastic.
They're the best.
They're a great resource for our local community, and you guys have been awesome. Great partners. We both have our offices in the downtown area,
yes.
And this is our community, and I just appreciate the organization for being like-minded in the work that we do.
Absolutely. I think it's important for us as two downtown organizations to continue to see the population that inhabits this community, especially this part of the community, continue to see it elevate and arise.
Absolutely. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Again, we are here with Dr. Nick Viglione, CEO of Perseus House and the Charter School of Excellence. What makes the Perseus House approach different with the treatment options and treatment approaches more than anything?
Well, we use what's called trauma-informed care, and I guess the best way to describe it is to use the line, we take a look at what's happened to the child, not what's wrong with the child. So if we can get down to that root cause issue, and even families at home that may have some of their family members that are struggling through mental health issues, they range from a level, so not everything is so significant. But it's really about getting to that deep-rooted cause and problem that started the whole thing. So that's our focus, and we always strive to enable kids to reach their potential. That's our goal. That's our mission, and that's we're staying true to it after 53 years.
Absolutely, and as we approach year 54, coming up in 2025, obviously the new year is when new resolutions and new excitement starts to come about. I've heard that there's murmurings of a future campus starting in the works.
Absolutely. We are moving through the final stages to get that going, and then our goal is to start a capital campaign to really provide these kids with the state-of-the-art facilities and a space to move themselves forward. Like we said, all kids deserve a good opportunity and within an environment that's nice and reasonable and well cared for, and that's what we want to provide to the kids. So more to come within the next 6 months on a potential capital campaign, and we'll be looking for folks to support the work that we do.
Absolutely, and we posted about the Perseus House earlier today on the Otters social media if you want to learn more there. And if people want to learn more directly from the organization, where can they go?
Sure, they can go to www.perseushouse.org, or if you're interested in the charter school, it's www.charterschoolofexcellence.org.
Dr. Nick from the Perseus House and the Charter School of Excellence, thank you for the work that you're doing to help benefit all populations here in Erie, and we're excited to see what year 54 brings.
Well, thank you very much, and I got to tell you, to close here, that last 2 minutes on that power play, we were able to get 5 shots on goal. We got to keep that going and move this game in the other direction for us.
Well, I gotta tell my broadcast partner he might be careful, else he might be losing his job here if he with analysis like that.
Well, hey, I appreciate what you guys do. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Dr. Nick of Perseus House and the Charter School of Excellence. Learn more on their website or their social media. We'll be back after this.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's an honor, and I'm looking forward to playing with some of our other friends in the league that we don't get to play with as much, so it's going to be a great experience.
I'm really excited. I want us to prove that the CHL is the best junior leagues in the world, so obviously they got a good thing going on over there at the NTDP, so I'm excited to play the game.
We have a great leadership group, but everyone on our team is going to be a leader for sure. We know a lot of the guys already, and some of us have a letter on our jersey, but everyone's a leader.
So we play together all year, and we're best friends off the ice, so it's nice to be able to share these moments with them on the ice as well. So we're just going to continue that.
We're great friends. We became super close, and it's pretty good to do all these things this year with them.
Prospects Challenge. It's never quite felt as timely to be able to have this than a time when the CHL and the United States seem more aligned than almost ever before, and especially to be able to have these two guys from the Erie Otters, Matthew Schaefer, Malcolm Spence, go to represent Team CHL at this tournament in Oshawa and in London. Boy, this is a special experience, and for a year that's supposed to be special for them, with draft years and obviously leadership potential for both of them. And Matthew Schaefer serving as a leader for Team CHL. I know they've done a lot of media availability of late from TSN and Bar Down, and obviously with the OHL and the CHL at large, but these are two guys who deserve it so much. And for the CHL players and for the USA players, what an opportunity to be able to showcase your stuff and say, hey, there's no more classic rivalry in hockey than the United States of America versus Canada. And now to see it at the junior level in a two-game show me what you got kind of setting, it's so good.
It's so good for the game, and it's so cool, and it almost makes you wonder why this hasn't already been in the picture. I guess because of the how much the U.S. national team development program had to kind of rise, right? Yeah. And just how good that program has begun to become. But now you're going to start to see a lot of these college guys that typically would go through there, they're going to be ending up here in the CHL as well. So, you're going to be seeing some different faces, and, I think you're going to be seeing in general just a lot more American-born talent in the CHL with this becoming the case with the NCAA ruling as well. So, but no, this is just a great classic rivalry and in a really cool way to have not only just the best of Team Canada, but the best from the CHL against the best from the U.S. national team development program. So really, really cool stuff, and looking forward to what should be a lot of fun next week. Otters probably aren't going to be looking forward to losing those two guys in their lineup next week, but what a great honor for them.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's a little unique that for a CHL USA focused challenge and tournament style, that it's both games are in iconic OHL cities. I wonder if it's going to be more of a CHL 1 year, USA the next year, because obviously USA NTDP plays at a former building in the OHL in Plymouth, Michigan at USA Hockey Arena. That's a great venue to watch a hockey game. So I could very easily see next year if they want to go right over the border into Michigan. I mean, you got Saginaw right there. You got obviously Plymouth. You got Flint if you really want to. And there's more than enough rinks in the state of Michigan. And then maybe the next year you're going over to the QMJHL, and you get the American-born players a chance to see the best of the Quebec Maritime Junior Hockey League, and then maybe you're going out west, and who knows? There's so much opportunity and potential, and with the game of hockey just continuing to grow in both of these countries in such a major way, the opportunities are just boundless.
Yeah, why not go to like some of the big college rinks, right? Go to University of Michigan, or go to Notre Dame, or Penn State, or like some of these big hockey schools, right? Or anywhere in Minnesota you can go to right there. So just again, like you mentioned, the opportunities for something like this, an event like this, are just endless, and there's a lot of great chances to help to grow this, right? This is just year one, but they choose, like you mentioned, two iconic Ontario Hockey League cities in London and Oshawa, and two big rinks as well to do it in. And imagine that Canada Life Place there, over 9,000 will be in the building for it. So a really cool event, and really looking forward to seeing the Otter representation on this stage. And you look ahead to the Connor McDavid CHL Top Prospects game.
We are
imagining those two guys are going to be seeing time there as well.
Well, and you think about it too, USA Hockey encumbers the entire country of the United States of America. The OHL specifically this nice little strip of earth that we are on right now that goes from the Pennsylvania, New York, right about to the East Coastline, all the way down to Florida. I mean, this is prime recruiting area. I mean, there's players in our league who are from Tampa and Bradenton, Florida. You don't think some of those Canadian guys would like a trip down to Miami to play in Sunrise down at where the Panthers play, or get a trip to go out to California? I mean, the opportunity to be able to showcase not just the CHL brand all across a hockey hotbed in the South, but all across this great continent. I mean, the opportunities really just scream, where is this going to go? How much is it going to grow to be? Because, I could see it going to where maybe it becomes 3 games, maybe it becomes 4 games. I mean, neither of these teams or neither of these, countries, the CHL, so those 3 leagues are the USHL, the NAHL, they want to lose their guys for too long, the NCAA, but I mean, if it's the opportunity to really get that rivalry going.
And also for these guys, again, for the scouting purposes and to see them on this type of stage, right? A lot of these guys are having opportunities to play for their country, but now, again, it's not country against country as much as it is league versus league.
League pride.
And you're seeing, that type of stage where it's almost an all-star game in a way. And, of course, we don't have an all-star game in this level. So it's things like this that basically do create an all-star game. And maybe if this does become a longer series, maybe you get an all-star break in there. I guess you have Christmas break as your all-star break, but, kind of other things that you can build events off of this and make it a whole week-long extravaganza. And, again, like you mentioned there, maybe growing into NHL cities as well, and again, making this a pretty big event.
That is the CHL USA Prospects Challenge. Schaefer and Spence leave tomorrow, and they get ready for London and Oshawa to take on the best of the best from the United States. We will step aside. Otters trailing 1-0 here on home ice.
Most people don't recognize me when I'm not in uniform, but when I carry my Erie Bank card, I get treated like gold.
Experience better banking with Erie Bank.
Probably one of the nicest kids you'll meet. Not a guy I'd want to drop the gloves with. Certainly not. He's got that Northern Ontario strength, and I'm sure being able to fight against the closest geographical team to his hometown as this one finds its way through for the first goal of the game. Greyhounds off of the face-off score, and it's a 1-0 lead for the team from Sault Ste. Marie. Goal line led by Sam Bonus.
Yeah.
Watch out, Sam Alfano getting loose. Alfano in front! Makes the strangest kick, and it finds its way back behind. And taken back as Schaefer will bring this one forward. Schaefer crossing center ice, brings this one in with Frasca. Back for Frasca. Frasca down, it'll go for Hughes. Hughes shooting! And that one, I think, ended up in the gut initially of Brady Smith, and then was grabbed off of him by his goaltender, Schenkel. So not the highest scoring period by any means, but a high-octane energy period, and it seems to be the case around the OHL and the GOJHL. Oshawa up 1-0 on the road in Brantford. 2-1 Kingston and Peterborough. That's a great rivalry battle, and right now Kingston up against a team that's still trying to find their footpath in the Peterborough Petes. 3-0 the Steelheads up in Niagara, or against Niagara, I should say. Scoreless in that game between Windsor and Kitchener. Scoreless Owen Sound London. Sudbury up 1-0 to the Guelph Storm. You'll be there in a couple weeks. Ottawa trailing 3-0 to the Sarnia Sting. The Saginaw Spirit putting an absolute pounding on their foes from I-75 South. And the Port Colborne Sailors continuing off of a great night last night and just continuing to find the back of the net. Really good night of hockey here on a Friday night in the OHL and just Ontario in general.
Really is, and the game that's standing out to me is the Owen Sound London game. And how about the Owen Sound attack? I guess, you look at their goaltending, it's strong as it gets with Carter George, but keeping the London Knights off the score sheet in the first period. Really impressive stuff from the Owen Sound attack there at Canada Life Place. Also that Windsor-Kitchener game, that's one to keep an eye on. Of course, Kitchener Rangers will be the Otters' next opponent as they come to town here tomorrow.
Well, we welcome you back into the Erie Insurance Arena, where we've had a good contest so far between these two teams. The Otters leading in shots by a 17-13 differential, but they trail 1-0 here because, well, Charlie Schenkel has proven he's pretty good at this game of hockey.
Yeah, he's been very good for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds here tonight. They're going to look for him to continue to stay strong in between the pipes here as this one rolls along.
Two teams line up at center ice. We are just about ready for second period action as the Erie Otters and Sioux Greyhounds do battle for the second frame. We are underway in period number 2. Thank you for joining us here on the Otters Broadcast Network. The Otters are on the final bits of a penalty kill for Sam Alfano for retaliation. Back at the blue line, this one goes. Durant's going after it. Below the goal line, Sauter looking for it. Up it'll go, top of the left circle. Moved in, quick passing, worked over right wing side. Greyhounds have it, it's Minosa. Back below the goal line, he'll go with this one. Waiting in the trapezoid, 30 seconds left to go on the penalty against Sam Alfano. Being served by Wesley Royston. And we get a stoppage in play for interference right in front of the net with 25 seconds left on the Otters penalty. And now we'll go 4-on-4.
So there you go, you even it up now to a 4-on-4. You saw Matthew Schaefer having some words with Travis Hayes in front of the net as well. So now Erie will get a little bit of power play time once the 26 seconds goes away on the 2-minute part of the 17 minutes that Sam Alfano will find himself in the penalty box.
We'll give a little alleviation here for Charlie Burns, who, after allowing a goal on his second shot, has proceeded to stop the next 11. So he's grown into the game very well.
He's been good tonight. He's been very strong tonight. And, you know, again, if the Otters are going to want to find success, they're going to have to run 2 goaltenders. You can't play Erliden every night, and Charlie Burns going to need him to come up big.
Edwards right in front of the net, trying to feed this one down for Matthew Schaefer. Up it'll go, Pano Femus. Femus leaves it back for Schaefer. Schaefer patrolling the line. Erie not on the power play just yet, but trying to pretend they are. Davio moving this one down. Davio back below the goal line with it. Davio outside of the right circle. Erie does go on the man advantage as Royston brings it. Well, kicking it off his skate into the offensive end as Erie was going to go off for a delayed offside. So opportunity here for the Erie Otters as they find themselves on the man advantage. Pennsylvania Lottery power play for Erie. Here's Tarrant, worked over right wing side. Move back, it's Spence with it. Spence, skate to stick for Femus, shot in, and Schenkel with a save as he's been prone to do so far tonight with some more discussions below the goal line. Well, hey, it's the last time you meet these teams. You might as well get a little bit of a rivalry buzz going.
Yeah, why not? And great to see Pano Femus back on the ice for the Otters. You get a look at this opportunity, skate to stick and a good quick shot, but better save. Schenkel comes out, top of the blue paint, challenges and shuts the door. But good to see Pano Femus back out there. Had a chance to take a look at the hit from Carlisle during that first intermission. It was a little bit high, and you could certainly see why Sam Alfano was not too pleased with his line mate taking a shot there from number 7 in red.
Face off left circle. Linesman calls Femus out of the dot. Kerry Tarrance will come in. 1:11 left to go on the Otter man advantage here. Finally drop back. Schaefer will take this one. Schaefer. Pitch and catch back here with Pano Femus. They'll keep it going. It's Pano Femus with it. Femus waiting it at the hash marks. Right in front of the net. Spence trying to jam this one over the top. Finding its way back behind. Moving over. Left wing side. Femus can't cleanly catch that one. Worked over. Edwards mid-slot. Down in front. Falling down in front. And the helmet comes off for Schenkel. Boy, he is throwing his body all over the ice and keeping that rubber out of the net.
Great deflection to start this all off from Malcolm Spence, who tried to chip it right beyond Schenkel. Otters keeping the pressure on the forecheck. Dylan Edwards looking for that pass to the front of the net. Here's another look at it as Erie just putting the pressure on. Good puck movement. That pass down low and then just that cut to the front of the net, trying to sneak it around Schenkel, but a good strong goaltending piece right there from the Sioux netminder to keep it out, and I think he's going to need some repairs on the helmet. That's over at the bench, and a broken stick being replaced, and boy, all kinds going up and down here over this power play.
Schenkel getting a moment to catch his breath, and well-deserved. He has been a busy man in this game so far with 20 saves, and we are not even 22 minutes into this contest. His helmet will be returned. And a great shot here from our production team, as Schenkel will put away that very nice lettuce he's got on his head and put the helmet back on.
With the hair flip first.
Of course. I mean, that's goalie tradition, right?
Got to show it off while you got it.
Yeah, and you don't get often opportunities to show it off while you're on the ice.
Exactly, so why not? So, and hey, I mean, he deserves that hair flip. He's 20 for 20 right now. He's been very good.
Femus will win this one on the face-off. Get it back from Schaefer. Femus over left wing side. Femus waiting with this one as there's a battle in front for Malcolm Spence. Moves it down for Kerry Tarrance. Back for Femus. Femus worked over right wing side. That's a timely stick for Brady Martin. He has been everywhere again tonight, but Schaefer shuts it down defensively, and the Otters enter right back in. moving its way back. Femus looking after this one. Femus, it'll go over right wing side for Schaefer. Skates a stick right in front of the net, trying to jam it through his Spence, and instead it'll be sent down the ice. That might just about do it here for the Otter man advantage. Boy, Schenkel is playing beast mode right now.
That's another terrific save. Malcolm Spence kind of turn around and get a whack on net. Good stop.
They come in and they score! Matthew Schaefer with the goal. Power play marker, and the Otters get this one tied up.
Great work, Matthew Schaefer flying in on the rush, and he can just create offense instantaneously. He does it right here, kind of out of nothing, and the Otters do strike on the power play.
That is so big. You need that on the man advantage. And Matthew Schaefer continues his great year. We talked about him. 5th goal this season for him. And the Otter power play gets it done once again.
Such a dynamic player. And a great finish. Goes 5-hole on Schenkel to knot this game at 1. You felt like it was coming for the Otters, and they find a way.
That's all you have to do. And especially, you got to put the pucks on net. Look at this one again. Schaefer from the hash mark, streaking down and just finds the back of the net.
That's why you throw pucks on net. You never know when they might sneak through, and that's one again. Schenkel's been so strong tonight, but he's going to want that one back, certainly.
Matthew Schaefer just gearing himself up for the challenge. This one shot in, and it'll find its way back behind. Moving its way up the near wall. Hughes looking after it. Hughes, he'll bring this one out of the zone for the right wing side. And coming in offside are the Otters with 17 minutes left to go in the second period. Boy, it felt like it was going to be Schenkel's night all night, but the Otters came out absolutely firing on all cylinders, and they're finally rewarded less than 3 minutes into the second.
And rewarded on the power play. So you get that penalty that comes up on the Greyhounds. It takes away a power play, or at least the late portions of it for the Sioux, and Erie able to capitalize and tie this game at 1.
Face-off was just outside of the defensive end for the Sioux Greyhounds. Erie looking forward back as it moves its way toward neutral ice. Worked in right wing side. Brady Martin working it toward the net front. Burns has seen enough. He'll just put the gloves on that one, and we'll get a draw inside of Erie defensive territory.
Yeah, Burns happy to just cover up, get the face off, and offensive zone pressure now as Sioux look to respond after giving up the game's tying goal.
So now Charlie Burns doesn't feel like it has to be every decision is going to be the critical one that keeps your team in the game. Offense has showed up. Offense has shown that they can get past this netminder. And now for the offense, it's keep the pedal on the metal. 22 shots through just over 23 minutes in this game. A good sign of things to come.
And it is always so tight when these two teams play.
It can't be easy. I mean, you only see each other twice a year and you're in the same conference. Every game is the big one against them. Challenger in, and just a little skitter puck finds its way safely into the glove of Charlie Schenkel.
And that goal, by the way, for Matthew Schaefer has to feel so good. Of course, he scored the beauty there, but the overtime winner was deflected off his stick. There was nothing he could have done about it. It was really the right play. He did the right thing, and unfortunately, it hit his stick and took off like a rocket. So to kind of bounce back and score again against this Sioux team, of course, with some bad memories in his mind, it's got to be so big for him as well.
Ambrosio with this one, back outside the left circle. Royston throwing it toward the net front. Edwards back below the goal line. Edwards waiting, shooting, loose in the blue paint, still trying to jam this one through. Loose in front once again, Terrance reels it in. Back at Ambrosio it'll go, and this one found out to the right wing side. Henry moving and shooting, as now the Greyhounds will get a chance to get it back. Moving its way up from Ignosa. 24 shots for the Erie Otters as we are 4 minutes into this second period. Down below the goal line, quite literally, is Ty Henry. Moving its way up near wall. Bottom of the right circle, played toward the net front. Kerry Terrance takes this one away. Terrance, that'll be a high stick. No, they'll keep this one going as Erie plays it first. And Ambrosio moving it forward. Here's Edwards up and in. Edwards stopping on a dime, waiting for reinforcements. Edwards, top of the left circle, moving its way back. Wesley Royston inside outside did just enough of his job. Terrance waiting, shooting off the face mask. This one still loose toward the blue paint. Edwards trying to jam away at it, but it will be taken by Cloutier. Entrance in offside. 15:23 to go here. And more of the rough stuff below the goal line.
Schaefer and Hayes again. They had discussions earlier on, and once again, none too pleased are both guys, and both a couple of shots at each other. Wonder if we'll get penalties for either side or if we'll just play on.
Well, familiarity breeds contempt, they say. And even when you don't see each other that much, again, 9 days ago, these teams had a very heated battle. We talked about Bonus and Halamago dropping the gloves. Again, you just saw him. You knew what the game was. You're not going to see him again until maybe the playoffs. So you might as well get all your frustration you've had built up against them out of the way now for both teams.
Yeah, you might as well. And again, these two teams have such great history against each other. And, you know, it is a little bit of a rivalry bred from postseason matchups. So, and again, like you mentioned, the fact that familiarity does breed contempt. Anytime you see a team, you always look at the Owen Sound back-to-back is a fun one. Always that second game is feisty.
Spence driving in, and Schenkel will push that one back behind. Erie looking forward once again. 5 minutes gone by here in period number 2. Demas, that one couldn't find it as it was booted away. Finding its way back below the goal line, picked up by Carlisle. Carlisle up for Martin, over and in it'll go, top of the left circle, push back for Martin. Martin driving down Main Street in front and they score! Cloutier with the goal on the redirect, and the Greyhounds retake the lead 2-1.
This is an absolutely phenomenal play from Brady Martin. He dances around 3 Otters. He took 2 out of the play completely at once, and then dances around to find the pass backdoor for Cloutier, who's able to snap it home. That's his 10th of the year, so double digits for Justin Cloutier. This is just a gorgeous goal. Look at the pass. He didn't have much of a lane there, and Martin finding his man backdoor.
Fist bumps on the bench here. What a goal for Cloutier. And Sioux responds to the pressure because Erie was laying it on thick early on in this one.
Yeah, nothing Charlie Burns could have done about that. That's just an exceptional play from Martin and well finished off by the Hounds.
Face off back at center ice. So once again, Sioux in the lead as time is called for here by the score, and we do get the thumbs up. 26-16, Erie thought they finally overcame the hump of the goaltender, and it's the offense for the Greyhounds that shows up right when they're needed once again. Down this one will go as it finds its way back inside of the near wall and pushed out of the zone as it wasn't able to be held in by Valeris. Look at Brett Hammond dancing his way into the offensive end. He'll pay for it as he goes back below the goal line, and everything red is hitting him outside of the right circle. And taken back away as Carson Andrew leads it out of the zone. Andrew moves it in back below the goal line. Davio after it inside of the corner. Hammond, he'll wait. Met by the body of Andrew once again. Back at the blue line, out of the zone it'll go. Messier chasing back after this one. 6 minutes gone by here in period number 2. 2-1, the Greyhounds right back on top. Entrance in, right wing side, moving down, shot in. Burns with a save and sends it back behind. Up against the near wall it goes, near corner, Smith trying to jam that one through, right to left, and instead it'll be found back along the near wall. Below the goal line, battled for inside of the Erie defensive end. Near wall it'll go, Terrance leads it forward, and moved up by Davio. He crosses the red line, sends it back behind. Edwards leaves it for Terrance. Terrance throws one on net, and a save made by Schenkel as it finds its way inside of the defensive end. Up against the near wall. Battling for it here is Edwards, lost it back, brought in right side by Sharon. To the blue line it'll go. Erie gaining the offensive end as Wesley Royston's back after it. Up against the near wall it goes. Moved out to defensive ice for Erie. 7 minutes gone by here in the second period. Sent in by McConnell Barker, worked in left wing side, top of the circle, shot, blocked immediately. To the blue line, it will come out of the zone, and the Otters will try and regroup back in neutral ice.
Otters have been doing a great job blocking shots here tonight. This time, Lucas Ambrosio gets in the lane of the shot coming in from Tate Vader.
The blue line and out of the zone it'll go. Terrance dumps it the rest of the way, and the Otters are going to go off for a quick change. Good play by the captain. Forward it'll go. Nice hit from Alex Messier. Erie brings it in. Challenger looking for it. Challenger. So it finds its way from the right wing side. Henry not able to keep that one in the zone. He'll go back after it inside of neutral ice. Works back below the goal line. Schenkel has 26 saves in this game already on 27 Otter shots. Outside of the left circle, Schaefer Chips it back in, remains in the offensive end onside, and Erie looks for it below the goal line. Schenkel plays it off the mid-glass. Not the greatest bounce in his favor in the world. Erie looking back after it below the goal line. Messier kicks it around. Below the goal line, it's worked by Spencer Evans. Phillips extends his stick, not able to get to that one. Brought in onside, they'll say, top of the right circle. Otters take it back, and Schaefer with it. Schaefer not able to connect as he tries to get it out of the zone. He does that, but is not able to retain possession. And Challenger going to get called off for a penalty once this one's held on to as it rides the rail over the top of the net. Loose in no man's land. Left wing side, it'll go, and a missed opportunity. Below the goal line, this one finds its way back. 6-on-5, delayed power play due up here. Caden Carlisle with it. Carlisle, left wing side, back below the goal line, it'll go. Moved out, blue line opportunity, finding its way out. Erie still on a delayed penalty call here. Finally touched up, not possessed though, and we will head to an Otter penalty as Tyler Challenger will be the guilty party. We head to the media timeout with the Otters trailing 2-1 on home ice. We welcome you back in the Erie Insurance Arena. The Otters trailing here 2-1, and Tyler Challenger heads to the box for 2.
Yeah, kneeing is the call. He stuck out his leg there, and he's going to go sit for the penalty. So the Otters will go now back to the penalty kill, and an opportunity to, again, kill off a penalty here in this second period. Now down a goal, and again, you feel like must-have. You don't want to allow this game to get too far away from you, and that's usually, again, something you do see with the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds and the Erie Otters. Again, these tight games. So, and with how Schenkel's played tonight, you don't want to have to overcome too big of a deficit.
Yeah, you certainly don't. When you're playing against a good goaltender, you can't allow the opposing team's offense to continue to thrive and get opportunities, because the more time between shots faced for this goaltender, the more recovery time that you get. For a goaltender who's as good as Charlie Schenkel, you have to keep applying the pressure. It's like if you have an open wound, you just got to keep applying that pressure.
And you got to continue to find ways, again, like you mentioned, Sean, just get pucks his way, and eventually one will sneak through like it did for Matthew Schaefer.
Well, here we go. The Erie Otters on the penalty kill, and they will start off with a clear all the way down the length of the ice. Erie, once again, a team to watch when it comes to shorthanded opportunities. Challenger and Alfano in the box. Again, Alfano still serving for that rectification that he had back in period number 1. Worked over right wing side, misconnection on the pass, loose in the mid slot, and down the ice it'll go. Opportunity presents itself. Pano-Femus alone in front. He scores! Short-handed goal for the alternate captain. Otters knotted up 2-2.
Well, a different shorthanded scorer. Pano-Femus finds the back of the net. It's the Otters' 7th shorthanded goal of the season, and the Otters' leading scorer now in double-digit goals for the season. That is his 10th of the year. Great feed to find him flying up the ice, and just a filthy move once he got in on goal, dancing around Schenkel and tucks it in at the back door to give the Otters the time they were looking for. 26 seconds into the penalty. Now that you've got the goal, though, you got to bear down and kill off this penalty.
Well, you got the tying goal, and again, this is an Erie team that's never afraid to take advantage of a disadvantage. We talked about it in our pregame show. We've talked about it all night, seemingly, almost as a way to will it. And the Erie Otters get themselves yet another shorthanded goal.
And now you've got the 2 on the ice who have scored 5 of the 7 combined in Kerry Terrance and Malcolm Spence.
Terrance.
By number 98, Pano-Femus.
Pano-Femus, his double-digit marker, as we are not even a third of the way through this season just yet, but we will quickly be here in the next 11 seconds. So it'll find its way up and in. Malcolm Spence, lead feed in with his friend, Kerry Terrance. Terrance driving the net front, stays back behind, hits it off of the back of the net to keep it going. What a move to get it back to Ambrosio. Ambrosio, as this one will find its way out of the zone, and that's a great play to just continue to eat clock.
That is such a heads-up play from a 16-year-old defenseman, right? This is a rookie. Normally you're thinking, all right, I'm going to get a shot on goal here. Maybe I'll find a shorthanded goal. No, when you're killing the penalty, play it back. You've got Matthew Schaefer waiting right there. clear it, and they just killed a solid 30 seconds with that heads-up decision.
You've already done what you need to do on the penalty kill in one aspect, which is tie the game up. Now, do the other part of it and kill the penalty.
Yeah, that's just an unbelievable heads-up play from Lucas Ambrosio. He is such a heads-up player overall. He's fun to watch.
Back below the goal line and for an icing. So with 13 seconds left on the penalty kill, an icing effectively kills the rest of the penalty off, which makes this Gold Star A+ when it comes to PK for Erie.
Yeah, what a disastrous power play, though, for the Sioux Greyhounds. Not able to set anything up at all. The Otters have just controlled the pace of play. And when you score a shorty that quick into it, right, of course, that kind of sets the tone for the rest of how the penalty kill is going to go. And the Otters, give them credit. This has just been an A+ penalty kill and really an A+ effort on the PK so far tonight.
Great response after that goal from the Greyhounds once again. 28 shots, Erie's got it back. Penalty's about to come to an end. It will find its way out of the zone. Challenger out of the box. And forward this one comes. Moved in right wing side. It's Brady Martin driving the bus once again. Erie, so it finds its way up against the near wall. Challenger, he'll lead it out of the zone after he came out of the box. Plays it off the mid glass, sends it back down below the goal line, and fresh legs do up and out for Erie. Callum Hughes applying pressure with Gabriel Frasca. 8:40 left to go here in the second period. Puck, Souvenir into the second level, and one lucky fan will be going home with a game puck here tonight.
That one took a pretty wicked deflection, but everyone over there, they were pretty heads up, and it kind of had a little bit of arc on it, so you can kind of get underneath it and make a play. So nice work by the fans over there in section 218. You don't usually sit in 218 and expect a puck to come your way, but it does there, and a nice little souvenir to take home here tonight.
8:36 left to go here in the second period. Erie in a 2-2 game. Each team with a goal here in this period. Erie with 2 of them. Moved up, Frasca. It was the short-handed unit to get it done once again for the Erie Otters. Below the goal line and down for an icing, so Erie will get an offensive zone draw here. And as we cross the halfway mark of this game, we are now 1/3 of the way through the Erie Otters 2024-2025 schedule. Tomorrow is game 23.
Wow, it's flown by.
Yeah, it has.
It is flown by. So we're, a third of the way through, and hey, it's still a lot of hockey to be played, and I think a lot of getting better to do for this Otters team. It's been a relatively strong start, but I think for this group and, with some of the additions they've made, there's nowhere to go but up.
Certainly so. And as this team just continues to gel together, and with an addition like Callum Hughes, who will continue to just get himself oriented with this team, sky's the limit. Worked in right wing side. Here's Davio bringing it in. Davio down, just not able to connect cleanly with Frasca. Frasca, net front, nobody's there to grab it. Davio will take it out with the blue line. Davio through traffic, down below the goal line, it's taken back. Up against the near wall, this one finding its way out of the zone, and forward it'll go for Smith, as Davio plays defense and gets this one sent back below the goal line. Erie nearly at 30 shots. Hughes brings this one in. Hughes trying to dance around his man, works it up the near wall. Below the goal line it'll go. Greyhounds bring it out of the zone, crossing the center ice line. Moving down below the goal line. Erie takes this one. Top of the right circle it'll go. Back in your corner, Schaefer gets past 2 Greyhounds, keeps it going north. 7:17 left to go here in the second period. Terrance down for Schaefer. Schaefer put it out in front and back below the goal line as Schaefer is taken off his feet. Movement in forward from the right wing side. Caden Carlisle, hot pass, and that one comes in favor of the Erie Otters in their defensive end. Sauter leads it out of the zone as this one finds its way back in. Terrance, below the goal line it'll go. Moved in, shot opportunity for Dylan Edwards. Moved at the hash marks, Erie's got it. Sauter down, Messier with it. Terrance looking for it. To no man's land in the neutral zone. Ty Henry will just dump it right back down and in. 6 minutes and 33 seconds to go in a high-octane second period as the Otters lead in shots 29-18. Ambrosio battling his man up into the boards. Top of the left circle, it'll go. Shot off the post! And up into the air and out of play it'll go. The Iron has been friends of Erie goaltenders here on home ice in November.
Excellent work from Tate Vader, working his way over the line and opening up to let that one fly. And he beat Burns, went up top, and that one kissing off the crossbar and sailing up and out of play. So good look for Vader, and the crossbar coming to the rescue of Charlie Burns.
You'll take some luck where you can get it. And certainly if you get beat, you hope that the old steel rod behind you will set it up and out of play, and that's exactly what occurred for Charlie Burns against his hometown team.
How about Tate Vader, by the way? You want to talk about an unbelievable name. Doesn't get any better.
Trevor, one of these days, we are going to sit down and look at all the rosters here in the OHL and get our definitive list of the season-by-season best names in the OHL. Vader, I mean, just how do you even get that? I know it's a German name and it means father, but, I mean, come on. That's so good. Into the near corner, this one will go far side. Erie grabbing it back out of the air, moving it in. Right wing side, lost back, and a 2-on-2 rush developing in. Brady Martin, who's been everywhere tonight for the Sioux Greyhounds, sends it below the goal line. Martin with it again. Schaefer, he gets all tangled up down there, and it's found back inside of the corner. Bottom of the left circle, it'll go. Sauter driving his man into the wall, taken away and played forward from Hammond to Spence. Back it'll go for Pano Femus. Femus, way back in the defensive end, moves this one forward. Grabbed by Alex Messier, moved over for Spence. Spence brings it into the offensive end. Spence, bottom of the left circle, right in front. Messier so close, but the pillow gets in the way for Schenkel. Below the goal line, Burns out of his net, moves this one back. Erie forward with it, it's Ty Henry. Henry, entrance in, sent down the rest of the way by Tyler Challenger. Henry, a little bump and run here as he gets it up for Challenger. Challenger, top of the right circle. Challenger, outside of the right circle. Sent back down and in. And out it'll go from the left wing side. McConnell Barker works it up the wide wall and goes the rest of the way down the ice. 4:40 left to go here in the second period. Ambrosio lost it on his own volition, now worked in by the Greyhounds, right wing side, and a save made by Charlie Burns. Back of the blue line it'll go, trying to send that one through traffic was Holub. Outside of the left circle once again, cycling continuing here for the Greyhounds, toward the net front. Ambrosio sets it aside, but not away. Played back around behind and trying to set up feet as that one couldn't connect, and the Otters will bring it out. Moving in right wing side, here's Hammond. Going down the rest of the way, Hammond below the goal line. Him and his man both fall down onto the ice, taken by Frasca. Frasca! Now on pinball action away from Callum Hughes. Now toward the net front, Frasca trying to jam it through. Frasca grabbed at, and instead, play continues on. Frasca seemed to have his head grabbed.
He did have his head grabbed. I'm shocked. I think they thought a whistle had gone.
Top of the right circle. That one sent up into the corner boards. 30-19. Erie leading in shots, looking for their first lead of the night. They have not quite been able to get there yet in a 2-2 game. Down it'll go for an icing with 3 minutes and 26 seconds left to go. What a game so far.
Yeah, it has been a very enjoyable one here tonight, and a very Erie Sioux matchup here tonight. It's been exactly what you would expect from these two teams. Tight, physical, emotional, and that has been exactly what these two teams have produced on the ice tonight. And hey, 2-2 late on in the second period. It's been a very entertaining and enjoyable watch and a very playoff-like game.
Especially the second period. I think the second period more reminiscent of what you come to expect in a game between these two organizations. They got speed, they've got grit, they've got that offensive firepower. Goaltenders showed off a little bit more in period number one. That's not to say they have not been busy here in period number two, but the brick wall that was Charlie Schenkel, starting to see little cracks forming in it. Erie with 2 goals in this period, 1 shorthanded, 1 5-on-5. It's anybody's game at this point. Erie's certainly dominating in the shot category by a 12 differential, but it doesn't feel that way.
Yeah, it really doesn't. I think the Greyhounds have at times looked like the better team, but then there's also been a few moments where the Otters have certainly looked like the better team. And, you know, a couple of good chances. You look at the one for Alex Messier moments ago that somehow Schenkel gets a pad on. I thought that might have been the noise at the back of the net as Messier finding his first of the year after just an unbelievable play from Malcolm Spence to dangle around a couple of guys. But unfortunately not the case. So now you're late on in the period. If you can find the go-ahead goal, I think that would be a big mark in the positive category for the Erie Otters. But it's going to be tough to do so. But yeah, a 12-shot advantage for Erie. It's one of those games where shots on goal not really telling the story.
I would certainly say so. And for Erie, usually when they have that shot differential, it feels that way. It feels like they're really carrying the more water in the game. But so far in this one, pretty even keel affair.
Yeah, it really has been.
And Erie's still looking for that opportunity to take their first lead. I think that's one good thing. As this one will find its way up and out of play, thought Wesley Royston was going to manifest her right there. Instead, Charlie Schenkel says, meet other net.
Yeah, good block shot. I think there was a stick in the lane before it got to Schenkel, sending that one sailing out of play. Royston on that turn and shoot. I think it was McConnell Barker who was there to get the stick in the lane. In fact, it might have been Valeris actually there for the Sioux Greyhounds.
Face off in the right circle. Erie, a team that has really enjoyed strong third periods on home ice the month of November. Again, they are undefeated on home ice in November so far. 3-0 record against some quality teams. And they have a 2-2 game here heading into the late stages of period number 2. Out of the zone, this one will go. Moving its way forward, Wesley Royston dumps it back in, missing connections with his men. And Schaefer will send it the rest of the way down. Schenkel came out of his net momentarily to meet that one, wasn't able to do so. Inside of the wide corner, it'll go. Back up at the blue line, worked out for Carey Terrance. Terrance as that one took a little bit of a bounce off of him. Outside of the right circle, Terrance finding it once again. Look at the willpower here. Worked over, Schaefer with it. Schaefer, oh, that was a nice skate in the lane by Travis Hayes and did just enough to get into the corner. Below the goal line, this one goes. Dylan Edwards with it, back up top of the right circle. Sauter, Schaefer waiting. Look at the flex of the stick down there as it's taken by Terrance. Terrance back, Schaefer, a Gatlin gun right now. Fires again, and that one deflected away by the glove of Schenkel. And out of the zone it'll go. Brady Martin crossing center, gains the blue line, and also gets a shoulder from Nathan Sauter. Just over 2 minutes left to go here in the second period. The Erie Otters and Sioux Greyhounds in a 2-2 game. Alfano finally out of the box and able to join back in. Top of the left circle. Misconnection down there between Malcolm Spence and Lucas Ambrosio. Spence leading this one forward. Brought in. Offside, they'll say, with 1 minute and 44 seconds to go in the second period. And as we look ahead to the second intermission, we've got some fun to up ahead. Coach Sam Butler, wise as he always is, will talk about the recent NCAA CHL ruling. We'll have a review of the first 40 minutes of play and a look at what's ahead in Erie.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun as always. Exciting to hear from Stan on this, and we'll see how how this all comes together here with, of course, Callum Hughes being that first domino following in an Otters direction.
And an Otters direction, but certainly not in the OHL at large. And again, we'll talk about that team in Kitchener we're going to see tomorrow, who's gained themselves quite a few new faces thanks to the ruling. Back at the blue line it'll go. Moving this one in through neutral ice. And back below the goal line it'll find its way. Ambrosio with it. Ambrosio, as this one works up, Ty Henry out of the zone it'll go. Alfano trying to catch it on the run. Out it comes, top of the right circle. Themis with it. Themis down, Spence. And he was thrown away a little bit like a rag doll trying to find that one. Back inside of the defensive end. Ambrosio works it over for Ty Henry.
Last minute of play in the period.
Last minute of play as Malcolm Spence drives this one down, finding its way below the goal line and read by Spencer Evans. Up and out of the zone, this one will go all the way down. It should find its way back for an icing and will with 46.9 seconds left to go. 32-19, shots favoring the Erie Otters. And Erie will find themselves in their offensive end. So really at this point, you've got the shots. Just don't make any mistakes. Go into the third period. You know third periods have been your period. Play your game, set your systems up for these final 47 seconds, and save that final push for the third period. That's what I'd be saying.
Yeah, certainly so, but here's a good opportunity off a face-off, at least get something toward the net here with this Frasco line on the ice.
Schaefer will get it back. Out of the zone it'll go. Back inside of the defensive end. It's taken by Nathan Sauter. Sauter below the goal line. Caden Carlisle trying to play robber. Outside of the circle it'll go. 30 seconds left to go. Erie kicks it around the left wing side. Back below the goal line, Schaefer takes it. Schaefer back up, Callum Hughes with it. Hughes. Outside of the circles, lost back again. Back at the blue line it'll go. Down inside of the hash marks. And down the length of the ice, will be back for an icing. They'll say no, so that'll eat up some time here with the final 12 seconds of the period due up. Erie looking for it. Lost the skates. Brett Hammond couldn't get to it. One last rush in, and that will do it for the opening 40 minutes of play here in a very intense game between two Western Conference foes who, despite not seeing each other very often, have proven they don't like each other very much.
Yeah, I think that's certainly been the case. Plenty of after the whistle contact and plenty of just physical stuff and just a really tight playoff-like hockey game. And I know it's a long way away, but this would be a fun series between these two teams.
Long way away as in distance or time until we get to the playoffs?
Well, both, right?
Both.
Both, right? You got a long 12-hour day on the bus going to the Sioux, and you've also got, we're in the end of November here, which is, again, crazy to say that we're already a third of the way through the season. But, yeah, I mean, you look ahead to March. These teams were, a shootout not happening away from meeting each other a year ago, and ends up that Erie plays Kitchener in the first round. But here again in this season, you wouldn't mind seeing these two teams play. I think both games have been a step in that direction, and kind of seeing that could be the case.
I would certainly agree with that, and especially, I mean, when you get two well-coached teams like this, the John Dean-led Sioux Greyhounds, the Stan Butler-led Erie Otters, it provides a very good and a very exciting battle. And, so far, very entertaining in this one. Final meeting of the season between these two teams. We'll wait to see how things close out here in the rest of this game, but this feels very reminiscent of Wednesday night. Erie had themselves a good start. Brampton took a 2-goal lead, and then it was tied going into the third period. Well, I don't expect that we'll see, another 3-goal outburst in the third period and a perfect finish, but this is almost the home game plan that Erie has had in the entire month of November. It's keep it close, keep it close, keep it close. Take control, put it away in the third period.
Yeah, that really has been the game plan, and it's worked out for the Otters here. They've been good in the third period this season, and they're going to hope that continues to be the case here tonight. It certainly was on Wednesday night, so they're going to hope that continues to show itself here in third period this evening. It's going to take a lot to dig deep, right? They've had trouble beating Charlie Schenkel 2 points in this game, so hopefully they can find a way to dig deep and maybe steal one here on home ice.
And I will say this, too, right before we had to break. Again, this is a Sioux team that is down quite a few pieces. I mean, just with the pieces that they do have, Brady Martin especially, he has been an absolute horse here today. He has been carrying the load. When this team does get healthy, I think they're going to start to make quite a bit more noise in the Western Conference.
Yeah, I think once they get a guy like an Owen Allard back who was on the ice earlier on this morning, he's a guy, of course, Utah Hockey Club prospect, NHL draft pick, right? He's a guy who could really make a difference for this Greyhound team. It seems like he is on the mend. So you get a guy like him back, and you start to get a little bit healthier with the good goaltending that this Greyhound team is having right now with Charlie Schenkel and what they've really gotten from him all season long. Well, they're going to hope that, that can maybe carry over into a little bit more sustained success going forward.
It is a 2-2 game as we are through 40 minutes of play here for the Erie Insurance Arena. When we come back, we've got a really fun intermission show due up ahead. Don't go anywhere. We are here downtown Erie on a Friday night.
Across the nation, the Canadian Hockey League is known for investing in moments like this. But did you know we're also investing in this and this? While you're probably used to seeing us here, we're also here and here. Through the CHL Scholarship Program, clubs award nearly $10 million each year, helping thousands of former players continue their education. So while you're seeing this, we're also doing this. The CHL, developing tomorrow's leaders.
Let the teddy bears rain down! Before there's turkey, let there be bears. On Wednesday, November 27th, join the Erie Otters for Bears and Beers Night, presented by Rebich Investments. Get ready for the most unbelievable night of hockey, featuring the 16th annual Teddy Bear Toss and an all-night happy hour. The first 1,500 fans in the arena will be ready for Thanksgiving with their very own goalie glove oven mitt. Can't wait? Get your tickets now at ottershockey.com.
When I was at Wexford many years ago, I was there 5 years. We had 75 full rides in 5 years. So I've got former players now that are Division I coaches. I think it's good. I mean, kids don't make any money in this league. They get $50 a week. It doesn't pay for their gas. So how they were professionals, I never really understood. I mean, you look at some of the football teams like Colorado, those guys are making a lot more money. So I think it's good. I think it allows kids not to make tough decisions at 15 or 16, which is great. And the college guys that I've talked to, quite frankly, have been extremely positive on it, and they're excited about it. I mean, we got a guy coming, he's in transit right now, he's committed to Boston University, which is one of the best programs, Callum Hughes. So that probably tells you right away that we're starting to work with the universities, and I think it could be a win-win for both sides.
Heard from the man himself right there, Sam Butler. He's been around the game, especially in this league, not just the OHL, but the CHL for a long time. It's changing landscapes, you adjust to it, and it's nice when an adjustment like this is something that's so good, so favorable for the league. And again, we talk about it, Callum Hughes, the newest addition to the Erie Otters because of this ruling. And again, if you're not privy to the news by some regard, the NCAA recently ruled that CHL players, so QMJHL, OHL, and WHL players, who do not take outside monetary opportunities, partnerships, etc., will now be eligible to play in the National Collegiate Athletic Association Division I, only Division I. So this does not apply to Division III schools, but that means players like Callum Hughes, who were previously in the BCHL, which was a former member of Hockey Canada, became an independent league because they wanted the opportunity to be able to send as many kids to the United States collegiate opportunities as they could. Same with the USHL, same with the NAHL, NA3HL, the list goes down. Kids who may have not looked at the OHL because they said, okay, well, it seems really cool to be able to play for the Kitchener Rangers, the Owen Sound Attack, the Sioux Greyhounds, the Erie Otters, but I want to go to the University of Michigan. I want to go to Boston. I want to go to Union. I want to go to Denver. Now you don't choose. And I think Stan said it best. It was almost handcuffing 16-year-olds and 15-year-olds and saying, hey, this choice between do you want to become a professional hockey player or do you want to become someone who has a degree that has your schooling paid for, you don't have to make that choice right now. And these kids are given the opportunity to both bet on themselves and bet on their collegiate opportunities. And again, I think we talked about it's the rich getting richer for both collegiate hockey and the CHL, but anything that benefits the player and allows for the player to have the best experience in life and in the sport, I'm all for.
And again, I think another thing that he says there, and kind of to your point, it's great to not have to make a 15 or 16-year-old make this life-altering and career-altering decision, right? Now it kind of takes it out of their hands, and I think that's a positive thing for everybody. And I think overall it's going to make not only our game at the OHL level better, it's going to make the game at the NCAA level better, and I think it in turn is going to make the game better at the pro level, whether that be in the ECHL, the AHL, or especially the NHL, because these guys are basically getting couple of free years of development in the best junior leagues in the world.
Yeah. So
now they have these opportunities to play here in Erie or play in the Sioux or play in London or Kitchener or wherever to get coaching from unbelievable coaches and to understand, the way that the junior game works. Because for me, I think the junior game is a lot more comparable to what you see at the NHL level versus the college game. So now you kind of play in that style, and then you go to college, you get your degree, right? You are able to learn and take classes and, of course, play at that collegiate level, kind of understand that level. What's going to be interesting is you go from wearing a visor here at this level, then you got to toss a cage on in college. I wonder if that's another rule we might see change with this going forward. But I think it's just overall, it's just so good for the game. It's unfortunate for some of the smaller leagues. I mean, with how many guys that the BCHL and USHL have lost, I believe the number is up to 20 now today with, I believe, Hayden Ellis, the newest Kitchener Ranger. We'll see him tomorrow. Buffalo, New York native, so not too far down the road. Going to be playing in his, I believe, skating his first game of the Rangers tonight at the Odd, and will be in the lineup for Kitchener tomorrow. You see a lot of these guys, right, coming over. It's unfortunate for the smaller leagues, but for the OHL and for, the game itself, do we maybe see expansion? I think expansion has been something that's been talked a lot about with Commissioner Brian Crawford in the OHL, and I think that we're going to see not only more expansion in Canada, but I think the U.S. I don't think we're going to be, in 5 years' time, looking at just 3 American teams. I think, we saw it already earlier on this year with Youngstown, Ohio and Muskegon, Michigan kind of, floating out the idea of joining the OHL. And I think that, why not go further west? Why not include Chicago as a market? Why not go further east and include Buffalo? I know you and I were in Cornwall, Ontario as another Canadian city, right? Hamilton wants the AHL there, but, the OHL could always come back to Hamilton when their renovations are done. Granted, the Bulldogs, who I think we all know they're going to probably stay in Brantford.
They love Brantford.
And for good reason, right? And with them getting the new rink and all. So I think that it just brings all these new possibilities to light that maybe, even a year or 2 ago are things that you weren't thinking of necessarily. So overall, it's just great for the game. And, I'm excited to kind of see, we're just kind of scratching the surface of what this is all going to look like with these new players we're seeing in the OHL. And, Callum Hughes has been great tonight. Yeah. I'm really excited to see of course, the new Rangers and Pridham especially, a very highly regarded young man. So it just makes these teams better overall, and it's going to be fun to see, what comes to light over the next 5-10 years.
Well, and you start to think about, the other opportunities, right? Okay, so now the CHL and the NCAA are on equal playing fields. Is there an exhibition game 5-10 years down the road where it's Mercyhurst versus Erie as a fundraiser, even just as a preseason game? You talked about expansion. I think the OHL wisely has kept the number around or at 20 because you don't want to, I think this term sometimes gets overused in expansion, but you don't want to dilute the talent pool that you're getting here. Okay, well, here's your argument against that. You just got the entire collegiate atmosphere to be able to restock, refuel the talent pool. And I agree with you. I think, we talked about the advantages that some of the USA Hockey major junior leagues or tier leagues, USHL, NAHL had, is that it was the collegiate route. If you want to go to collegiate hockey and you want to play junior hockey, this is the way. Again, we talk about some of those teams in those bigger markets, and Muskegon that fits right in the West Division of the OHL, Youngstown that fits right here in this division, an hour and a half away from Erie, an organic rival, a Chicago that brings a humongous American media market to the OHL level. I mean, the opportunities truly are boundless, and I think that's what's so exciting, is as exciting and as well-deserved as it is for the player to now be able to say, I have boundless opportunities. I can spend 2 years in Erie. I can go to the collegiate level after, or the inverse. I can, play my high school game, my high school age years, and then I can go to college hockey. And if I don't like it, if I want to get that transition to get that feeling for the pro game, I go out of college and I go into the OHL, the WHL, the QMJHL. As exciting as that is, the opportunities for now more markets to be considered upon and to grow the game in the eastern stretches of Canada. And, maybe look at some markets that, were explored once, but they just weren't thinking maybe the talent pool was there, the excitement was there. A new market, Ontario, I know, formerly had the OHL as well. And so many of these Junior A and Junior B cities that have proven that they have hungry hockey fans that now get to see so many more players. I think there's so much opportunity afoot.
There is. It's really, again, like we mentioned, we're just scratching the surface with these handful of guys that have made the jump. And I think this offseason is where it's really going to get interesting to kind of see, some of the younger class, right? And some of these 18-year-olds. And, that's going to be maybe a challenge, is keeping 18-year-olds here at this level who do commit. I mean, you look at Hughes, who's a BU commit. That starts next year, right? Yeah. But, a commitment can kind of change, right? So, but keeping 18-year-olds and not just being a 16 to 18-year-old league, I think is a big key for the OHL too. And, with the leadership that's at hand right now, I think the league is in a really, really good place. And I think that, that question's going to be brought up, and that question's already probably been thought about and already has a solution for. So, it's, again, so fun to debate these things. And, it's been in practice now for 2 weeks, and the amount of conversations and amount of new ideas that have come to light and been able to think about in 2 weeks has been amazing. I can't wait to see, again, what it looks like come the off season.
And let's reintroduce you to Callum Hughes just real quick before we go to break here. Callum Hughes, he is a lightning bolt on the ice. This again from the Elite Prospects 2024 NHL Draft guide. A player who really has everything that we've seen, is the same thing that the scouts were seeing. Speed advantages, tactical skating, knows how to back off defenders. And this is a kid who's from the East Coast, had to go all the way out west because you want to play that high-level junior hockey. And now he gets to see himself a little bit closer to home and a little bit closer to his college that he'll be going to.
Yeah, certainly so, and maybe giving an opportunity for a couple of folks from BU to come out and see him play.
Sure.
And a lot easier to come to Erie, PA than it is to go all the way out to West Kelowna to watch your future Terrier in action. And again, no disrespect to the BCHL, but comparing the two leagues, I mean, it's not even. It's unfortunate, right? But it's not even close. The OHL is just an unbelievable league. I mean, we're blessed to be able to talk about and watch these guys just blossom before our eyes. And it's a much higher level of competition that this young man's going to be exposed to. And like I mentioned, it's going to bring up the league and bring up the NCAA product as well. And it's all just going to be, it's all just going to benefit.
We'll take a quick break. When we come back, league scoreboard highlights and a look at what's ahead for the Otters this week.
Don't freak out, but I think that's the new Halloween scratch-off.
Wow, top prizes of $100 grand. Can I start freaking out now?
I'm sure it's just a storm.
Well, I did not see that coming.
Scratch-offs this spooky take on a life of their own. Keep on scratching. Boom!
Diego, probably one of the nicest kids you'll meet. Not a guy I'd want to drop the gloves with. Certainly not. He's got that Northern Ontario strength, and I'm sure being able to fight against the closest geographical team to his hometown as this one finds its way through for the first goal of the game. Greyhounds off of the face-off score, and it's a 1-0 lead for the team from Sault Ste. Marie. Goal line led by Sam Bonus.
Yeah.
Watch out, Sam Alfano getting loose. Alfano in front! Makes the strangest kick, and it finds its way back behind. And taken back as Schaefer will bring this one forward. Schaefer crossing center ice, brings this one in with Frasca. Back for Frasca. Frasca, down it'll go for Hughes. Hughes shooting! And that one, I think, ended up in the gut initially of Brady Smith and then was grabbed off of him by his goaltender, Schenkel. Well, that might just about do it here for the Otter man advantage. Boy, Schenkel is playing beast mode right now.
That's another terrific save. Malcolm Spence kind of turn around and get a whack on net. Good stop.
They come in and they score! Matthew Schaefer with the goal. Power play marker, and the Otters get this one tied up. Over and in it'll go, top of the left circle, push back for Martin. Martin driving down Main Street in front, and they score! Cloutier with the goal on the redirect, and the Greyhounds retake the lead 2-1. And down the ice it'll go. Opportunity presents itself. Panofimos alone in front. He scores! Busy night around the OHL as well, as we've talked about. 2-1 Oshawa up on Brantford. Peterborough in a 2-2 game. A rivalry one as the Peterborough Petes look for their second win of the season. Brampton and Niagara, big-time Eastern Conference battle. Brampton up 3-2. Kitchener finally getting past Joey Costanza with a 1-0 lead. Owen Sound being led by Carter George in a 2-1 game over the London Knights. Sudbury Wolves up 2-1 against the Guelph Storm. Sarnia 3-1 over Ottawa thus far. What is going on in Saginaw? They are absolutely kicking their rivals while they are down with a 6-0 game. And after 2 periods in Port Colborne, our Sailors still up 3-1. Let's take a look at what is ahead here for the Erie Otters. And tomorrow we have got a fun one. Kitchener Rangers in town. Our good friends Paul Fixter and Mike Farwell, the radio voices of the Rangers, get the treat of a band in town, Fort LaBeouf Marching Band in town, so they'll be excited for that. And we're very excited because it is our 3rd annual Children's Grief Awareness Night, a game that means so much to our organization. Wednesday, the Owen Sound Attack come to town for Bears and Beers Night. That's going to be fun. Thursday, Thanksgiving. Friday, Black Friday. Saturday, it's Flint Firebirds hockey time as it's family game night. So good calendar of fun due up ahead.
Yeah, it really is. Closing out this month of November on home ice, closing out the Thanksgiving holiday, and then really full-fledged into the holiday season with just a handful of games before Christmas break. Once we wrap up this homestand, you got a few in December, 4 on the road, and then 2 at home, and then you're on Christmas break. So pretty wild that we're already talking about that as we're, again, like you mentioned, a third of the way into the season. Seems like just yesterday you and I were in Kitchener, late September, opening up the season.
That does seem very, very recently. And once you hit New Year's Eve, it's a billion miles an hour.
Yeah, that playoff push, right? It gets super exciting in the Otters. It's going to be a fun stretch run this year.
Two teams line up at center ice, third period action, and we are underway looking for a winner here in Erie, Pennsylvania. 2-2 game. Erie will bring this one out, Matthew Schaefer. We are back to the full Otters line, which includes Sam Alfano, shot in over the top of the net of Charlie Schenkel. And the Otters coming to see if they can play with that purpose they've had in the third period. All their home games in November so far. Top of the right circle, back it'll go for Sauter. Moved up, Schaefer, left wing side for Femus. Femus, not sure where that one ended up as it somehow found its way up to Brady Martin. Martin dancing in, trying to get around Sauter. Sauter too stingy of a defenseman to allow that to pass. Bottom of the right circle, it'll go. Played around by Marco Minosa. Minosa trying to thread the needle, not able to do so. Erie at the blue line, battling for it. Moved up by Minosa, and Erie clears the garbage to the blue line and out. Dylan Edwards moves this one in, lost back. Taken away as it's moved by Evans. Up for Smith. Henry walks it down, takes it below the goal line, moved it up to neutral ice. Worked up for Oyston, skate to stick. Erie coming in with speed. Shot, deflected, Schenkel, glove, and a save is made as we are just past the first minute of period number 3.
One thing I want to point out about the way that this Greyhounds team plays, and this is something that really jumped out to me and was talking to assistant coach Ken Paroff about it when we were up in the Sioux last week. Watch when the Greyhounds pick up the puck. They always send at least one, but usually two forwards directly out of the zone. That's what allows the space for Brady Martin there on that one-on-one, rather, that he just had that good opportunity. So the Greyhounds, as soon as they find the puck, they're looking to get out of the zone, and they're looking for a stretch pass out of the zone. It leads to some really exciting stuff. And, you know, he mentioned, Coach Ken Paroff said, I wouldn't mind being a season ticket holder for this Greyhounds team, the way that they play. It's fun to watch.
They certainly do play a high-octane brand of hockey. And to be able to be playing at the level that they're playing at with the amount and number and quality of players that they are missing, it goes back to the coaching and to their systems. Back this one will go, finding its way outside of the right circle. Edwards, Terrance, and back inside of the corner it'll go as Wesley Royston drives his man into the corner wall. Forward it'll go, left wing side, back out to neutral ice. Erie looking forward in the defensive end, it's Nathan Sauter. They get back for Kerry Terrance. Terrance whips it ahead as it'll bring its way in for Callum Hughes. Hughes, left wing side it'll go. Bottom of the circle, moved back by Davio right in front. They score! Welcome to Erie, Callum Hughes. Otters lead for the first time, 3-2.
How about a little Hughes chant from the fans? Callum Hughes, welcome to Erie, Pennsylvania. Thought he might score tonight. He finds a lane in front of the net, and he's able to beat Charlie Schenkel. It all started with Davio on that little wraparound try that he had, and Hughes was just kind of lurking in the high slot, waiting for anything that might pop out. Schenkel lost his footing, trying to get over to Davio. That kind of left him a little discombobulated, and then they find Hughes in that high slot, who's got the net to pick and shoot. As we take another look at it, see where Schenkel is. They're going to look at maybe goalie interference here. I think we might get a coach's challenge for a goaltender interference. I think this might be a good challenge from John Dean as well, because the contact certainly did occur in the blue paint. It did not allow Schenkel to get back up and play his position. That's usually what does constitute goaltender interference.
So the officials will skate over to the scorer's box.
That's a good challenge. If there is a challenge here, I like this one from a Greyhounds perspective. Here's another look, a little bit of a tighter angle. You see Hammond kind of tied up, but you see the contact right there. He tried to get away. I think this one's going to be taken off the board, Sean.
They're going to look, of course, at every angle that they got here in-house. The tablet will come out, and now it's time to go to the war room. The Erie Otters waiting to see.
He is currently under review.
So as you heard from the man himself, Dean Pepicillo, they are taking a long look at this one. I agree, this is a good challenge because it's close enough where it's worth it. If you lose your challenge here, you know you go down swinging. You know you go down for the right reason. And, you know, obviously there was the contact in front. Hammond was kind of forced into the blue paint. But then there was the extra initial stuff that happened that kind of allowed for, or rather forced Schenkel to fall off his feet.
Yeah, what may help the Otters here is the fact that he was bumped in initially, but Hammond kind of stayed there, and he did make contact on that second little push out from Schenkel, and I think that's what unfortunately might do the Otters in here. You see the initial contact, but then it's right there, that second little wave that knocks him down to the ice, and allows Hughes to find the back of the net. It's a great shot. But you see Hammond right there, just kind of he stays there.
Oh, wait, did you see that?
There was a little bit of a bump from the back, though.
Yeah, and you know what? He was at an awkward angle. He never used his body to force off the goaltender to get back up. That last angle that we saw where there was that extra little cross check, that could be the slip knot that the Otters need to keep this goal.
Yeah, that could be it right there because, again, if you're not allowed to leave the blue paint, well, that could certainly change things.
Well, the Tablets put away the decision. We got a good goal. Callum Hughes, welcome to the OHL.
You were spot on, Sean. That is exactly the decider in that factor. That little cross check from the Greyhound defenseman leads that to the goal. But I like the point, though, you make as well, that that's a good challenge. That's one where the contact is in the blue paint. And if I'm John Dean, I want a nice explanation on that. But that little shove at the back end of it, that causes the goaltender interference to go off the board, and a big goal for the Erie Otters to take a 3-2 lead just under 2 minutes into the frame.
It's a huge goal, and again, I think it was that last angle, because initially, if we were looking at the overhead, I was agreeing with you where I thought, okay, you know what, this one, I think there's enough where it's extra stuff, but when you see that little cross check, that can be it. That can really put you in a tough position. So here we go. Erie Otters for the first time tonight lead, and it's the new kid in town, the Boston University commit, who gets it done as he finds his first OHL goal, his first major junior goal. And hey, he was just announced as a signed player earlier today, so not a bad day in the office.
Scored by number 9, Callum Hughes.
Out of the zone, this one will go as the Otters will now look to add on to it. Finding its way back below the goal line. Worked up and into the corner it'll go. Frasca after it. And you've talked about how good this line has been here tonight, and you were the one who had mentioned it. It feels like a goal is due for this one. You're not surprised to see it happen, but now you wonder how much more do they got left in them. We've still got a whole period of hockey left here.
Yeah, Hughes has been firing on all cylinders. A lot of shots from him tonight, and you felt like it was the matter of time before he'd find the net.
Alfano, rising shot, stays in the field of play. Alfano will go after this one. Femus, taken away by Malcolm Spence. Spence down for Femus, tried to get it right back to him. Femus, back at the blue line. Ambrosio, nice hold, and he really pinned it up against the wall. Out below the goal line, into the trapezoid it'll go. Carlisle after it as an Otter is forced down below the goal line. That's Malcolm Spence, and an icing is the call back. And they are allowing a lot of stuff after the whistle to take place here between these two. It's equal, so you can't complain too much because if a game's going to be called, you just want it to be called equally.
Yeah, there's been a lot let go tonight, but again, it's kind of gone for both sides, so I think you're fine with that. But, I mean, you got a guy getting tackled in the corner way away from the play. With the official right there, usually you do see an arm go up.
Face off in the left circle. Erie back in their offensive end. One back as it finds its way to the blue line. Setting it up, it bounces off of the stick of Wesley Royston. Battling after it, high slot. It'll be taken away by the Greyhounds. Terrance, now he's getting involved in the checking as this one set aside by Charlie Burns. This one centered toward the net front, and the Otter defense gets in the way initially. Puck put up in the air, played by a high stick. And we will get a face-off due with 16:24 left to go in the third period. And for the Otters, they have that lead. This is that classic third period trap they love to play. Get out in front and just keep the boot on the neck. We'll see if they can do that.
Yeah, and shut the door defensively. That's been a big key for Erie in this recent stretch. And how about Burns, by the way, 19 of 21 tonight. Good, strong performance. He hasn't had that high volume of shots, but he has come up big when need be tonight.
And I think it's stats are what they are, right? It's a reflection of how you've played so far. But I just think Charlie Burns is a better goaltender than the numbers that have been put up for him this season. I think that Flint game really showed it, and I think once he gets more of these kind of games under his belt, you're going to see the Charlie Burns we saw in his call-up last year.
I agree, and I think the more and more he works with Ryan Zapolsky, it's in there. We saw it. We've seen it multiple times. It's just a matter of confidence for him and maybe a couple tweaks that you want to see in his game, and I think the Otters have themselves a really strong number 2.
This one shot in, deflected away by Schaefer, and he'll just clear it the rest of the way. Burns getting back up off his feet after a little bit of collision near his net front. A 19-save night for him so far, and a lead for his team. So far, so good. And being able to play in front of the hometown faithful and give them a good performance so far, that helps your confidence knowing they're cheering for you, not against you. Top of the left circle shot in, and a scoop and save as Charlie Schenkel reminds you, hey, he's not such a bad goaltender either.
Yeah, and doing it against your hometown team for Charlie Burns, that makes it a little extra special as well. I know he's really disappointed he didn't get the chance to play back in the Sioux last Wednesday, but now gets to play against the hometown Greyhounds here in front of a nice Erie Insurance Arena crowd on a Friday night, and has done a very nice job shutting the door for the Otters.
Just over 3,500 in attendance here on a Friday night. Just part of that continuously growing Otter attendance number this season. Fan support has been huge, and usually you don't see a crowd like this in the first half of the season on a weekday game.
Yeah, really nice to see the fans coming out, and hey, good promotion, right? Anytime you mix in a concession promotion, that's usually a positive for many folks in their decision to come on out.
Well, it's expensive these days, to do anything, even go grocery shopping. So if you can come out here and for $5 you get a hot dog and a beer, or for $5 and get 5 popcorns, I mean, you're not gonna complain about that. It's great that the arena offers it. It's great our team is able to offer it, and it's great for the fan experience.
Yeah, it really is always enjoyable, and again, 3 nice diverse items, right? That you can kind of something for everybody in there. So yeah, really, really awesome stuff, and glad to see that many folks have taken advantage. Another thing, you got that college BOGO in there as well. A lot of folks looking for something to do. I mean, you got Gannon just steps away, and an opportunity for some folks maybe not from here to check out a game as well.
And you know what? If you're at Boston University, this one turned over, mid-slot opportunity, and it's sent wide. Erie outside of the left circle, looking back in their defensive end. 5 minutes gone by here in period number 3, and the Otters got to play smart here as the Greyhounds are starting to force their will. Forecheck coming on strong. Alfano. For this one will come in. Malcolm Spence trying to catch a seam. On to feed it back to Femus. They weren't on the same wavelength right there. Entering in, top of the right circle, Femus. As they walk back to the blue line, this is Jacob Cloutier, who had that big goal earlier in this one. Shot in front, and Burns tracks it down as Henry pushes anyone away from his netminder.
Good, strong save. Charlie Burns really commanding the crease right now, and comes up with a huge stop. Boy, good chance for Travis Hayes moments ago as well for the Sioux, but sending one off the back glass. Greyhounds keep the pressure on, and Burns comes up with a big stop.
And you talked about that disappointment. I think that helps fuel you into a night like this. We get another look here at the opportunity for the Greyhound side. Obviously, you want that chance to play in front of your hometown fans, but to kick off a road trip, it's that first game. You want to get Erlit in 2 of them. You don't want him to play in a back-to-back. It's a numbers game, right? Unfortunately, and that's the case. But for Charlie Burns, he's a young netminder. He is a netminder with a lot of potential. He'll get that start next time Erie goes to Sault Ste. Marie. Back of the blue line, this one will go. Top of the right circle, shot through traffic, follows it through, sends it back behind. 14:24 remaining here in the game. Erie leads at 3-2. It's their first lead of the night, thanks to Callum Hughes. And more back behind the net as Lucas Ambrosio is in the mix. Get a good look at it here. There are plenty of displeasantries being exchanged verbally between these two.
Yeah, it seems like every whistle there's a coming together between these two teams. And again, it's not surprising to see, given how recently they've met up, but been certainly fun for us to watch up here. And again, a lot of emotion in this game between these two teams.
Certainly, that has been the case. The fans are enjoying it here tonight on a great Friday night in downtown Erie. Maybe some fans even coming up from Pittsburgh. Face-off due up right circle. No drop on the draw there. Sharon will come in and take this one opposite of Carey Terrance, able to win it back, top of the right circle, and on the wrong hand for McConnell Barker as it comes out of the zone. Moved over for Hollum. Into the offensive end. Smith had it, lost it back, got it outside of the right circle. His teammate runs into him. Henry, this one right in front, sent right back behind by Lucas Ambrosio. Wesley Royston, top of the left circle, out of the zone it'll go. McConnell Barker looking after it. Head down goes Dylan Edwards. Edwards trying to create separation in front for Royston. Loose in the blue paint, set aside. Edwards chopping away at it. Below the goal line, he will find it. Edwards sets it up. Back for Terrance it'll go. At the blue line, Schaefer through traffic, and that one finds its way up to Henry. Henry, top of the right circle. Edwards, separation mid-slot. And it's in the paraphernalia and held onto by the netminder, Charlie Schenkel. Erie cycling the net front, creating opportunities, and up to 37 shots will step aside.
Across the nation, the Canadian Hockey League is known for investing in moments like this. But did you know we're also investing in this and this? While you're probably used to seeing us here, we're also here and here. Through the CHL Scholarship Program, clubs award nearly $10 million each year, helping thousands of former players continue their education. So while you're seeing this, we're also doing this. The CHL, developing tomorrow's leaders.
You know what also helps the fan experience is the opportunity to get a free t-shirt. Hey, t-shirts ain't cheap either, even though Darcy and our team store makes them as affordable as possible for the fans. But if you can win a free one, you'll take that every single day.
Absolutely. Always good to come away with free stuff anyway that you can. Always enjoy free stuff. And great opportunity for the fans to try and snag a souvenir in a different way. I always liked, I thought I saw it a little earlier in baseball season. The Angels had their t-shirt giveaways said, "I caught this shirt at Angel Stadium." I thought that was a fun way for the t-shirt toss t-shirt to go out.
See, I like that one. That makes it even a little bit more personalized. You know, the regular t-shirt's cool, but having a story behind it. I'm a conversation piece t-shirt guy myself. Outside the left circle, this game has been nothing but a conversation piece. 13-15 left to go in the third period. The story of the night so far is Callum Hughes with what is the difference-making goal thus far for the Erie Otters in a 3-2 contest. Erie up to 38 shots. They are closing in on 4 straight home games of at least 40 shots. They are 2 away, and they are looking to add on to a 3-2 lead as they finally have themselves out in front. Schaefer back in the defensive end. Davio forward. This one will go back below the goal line and finding its way inside of the near corner. Up and in from the left wing side. Bonus. Cloutier. Fans getting into it here on a Friday night. Their team's out in front. Second game of a 5-game homestand. Longest of the season for Erie. Got to take advantage of it. Flipped into the zone. Alfano waiting and shooting, and a block down there. That one was deflected away by Valeris. Moving its way up top of the left circle. Schaefer throws it on net. They score! Second of the night for Matthew Schaefer. Otters lead it 4-2. Alfano will lead the line. Might have got a piece of it. Regardless, Otters go up by a pair with just over 12 minutes left to go.
Another case of throw the puck to the front of the net and good things will happen. Schaefer lets it fly from the blue line, and I think Alfano did get a touch on it on the way through. It looked to me like it did change directions. We'll see who does get awarded the goal, but Alfano leading the line usually does tell the story as Erie now double their advantage. Late on here, you're still 12 minutes, a lot of time to play, but that's a big goal to double your advantage. We talked about it with the Otters when they went down 2-1. They did not want to make that a 3-1 deficit. You don't want to go down by more than one in a game that's felt as tight as this one has. Well, now they've got a 2-goal advantage.
It did take a jump up before it found the back of the net. That seems like primo Sam Alfano doing, and we'll get the official word here in just a few from Dean Pepicillo, our PA man. Regardless, 3 unanswered goals for the Erie Otters. They have a 4-2 lead on home ice. Royston driving the net front outside of the right circle. Edwards looking after this one, finding its way out of the zone. Down the ice, it'll go back. Will it be for an icing? And they will say yes. 11:42 left to go in this game. Erie up 4-2, and this is feeling so much like a classic Erie home third period.
It is. It's a pretty much carbon copy of what we saw the other night. And, you know, even you look back at a couple of other games where they've been able to just control the play throughout the third period. That's been exactly what we've seen here tonight. Not a lot of grade A scoring chances for the Greyhounds, and you got to give credit for the way the Otters have just been able to play the game at their pace here in the third.
Face-off shot, and that one put up into the air, not out of play though. 11:35 remaining in the contest. Erie looking to put it away here for their 4th straight win on home ice.
Erie goal is 2nd of the game and 6th of the season, scored by number 48, Matthew Schaefer.
The second of the night as it officially does go to Matthew Schaefer. What a night Matthew Schaefer's having, and tonight is a night, and this weekend is a weekend that means so much to him, as down below the goal line, this one will go outside of the right circle. We'll talk more about that at the next media timeout, or the next timeout, excuse me. Burns holds on to this one. Today is the birthday of Matthew Schaefer's late mother, Jen Schaefer. So many of the Schaefer family in attendance, and tomorrow, Matthew Schaefer is our Children's Grief Awareness Night champion alongside Highmark Caring Place, sharing the story of the loss of both his billet mother and his mother last season. He is as special of a player as they come. To see him having the success on the ice, it matches the character and the attitude of the man off the ice.
Yeah, he is as special a player on the ice as he is a human being off the ice. There aren't many better than Matthew Schaefer, and you just can't help but root for this young man.
You certainly can, and with 6 goals here tonight, you know, he's doing his best to make the family in attendance proud. Outside of the right circle, this one will go. Erie looking to keep good things going as this one goes down the ice and will be back for an icing. So another Erie opportunity inside of their offensive end. Time starting to become an enemy of the Sioux Greyhounds. They had that 1-0 lead. They had a 2-1 lead, but Erie so good at just playing back, making sure that they're the team with the most energy at the end of the game, and digging in when you don't expect it.
Yeah, the Greyhounds just haven't really been able to string much together here in this third period at all. And again, it's credit to the way that the Otters have been able to forecheck and the way that Erie's clogged up the neutral zone. Those passing lanes for some of those stretch passes just haven't quite been there like they've been earlier on in the game.
Inside of the near corner, Spence out of the zone it'll go. Spence did pick up an assist on that goal. Those two guys will leave after tomorrow night's game to head to the CHL USA Top Prospects Challenge. As this one's turned over in front, and Spence was trying to get a nice little bow before his road trip. Out of the zone, this one will go. Into defensive ice for the Otters. Sam Alfano works it up. Panofemis leaves it there. Spence forward with it. Spence leaves it back. Schaefer with it. Schaefer for Alfano. Below the goal line it'll go. Spence with it. Spence wanted to feed that one out to the net front. Not able to do so. Up against the near wall it'll go. Femis left it toward the net front. In the mid slot it'll go. Schaefer will grab it out of the air, and we are just past the halfway mark in this third period. Erie with a 4-2 lead, trying to keep their record on home ice in November perfect. They're 3-0 so far. Moving in, outside of the left circle, it'll go as Brady Martin's got it top. Now mid-slot, shot through traffic is set aside. It goes into the high glass. Moving up against the near wall. Royston looking for it. Top of the left circle, Hayes with it. And against the wide wall, Tarrant's trying to get loose. Tarrant will grab this one and bring it in with Royston. Royston, his stick is all tangled up, and back in the near corner it'll go. Edwards below the goal line. Outside of the right circle, Schaefer recollects it. Schaefer, by the way, with a 2-goal night. He was our Roscoe Sports Bar and Grill player to watch again. Alfano was it on Wednesday and a hat trick. Schaefer tonight with 2 goals.
I'd say the folks making the choice on that, they're 2 for 2 on the homestand.
Well, that marketing team, they know what they're doing back in the Otters office, and they picked a good one tonight. Back up, this one will go, up and out of play. We'll see if this will be a delay of game penalty with 8:44, and it appears it will be. So the rare mistake for Erie in this third period, in a period that's otherwise been nearly flawless.
You couldn't pick a worse time to take a delay game penalty, and unfortunately it's Callum Hughes who's going to go to the box here for the Otters. So he'll take a seat. Now Erie, they've got to kill this off. This is a golden opportunity for the Greyhounds to climb right back into this game. It has not been their best period at all here in the third. The Otters have really taken the game to them, but now they go out to a pretty strong top unit on this power play to get things started, and we'll see if the Greyhounds can climb back in with a 3rd goal on the night.
Well, this is about really, I don't want to say last gasp, but this is about as good of a chance as you're going to get here before we are under 7 minutes left to go in this game. A 2-goal deficit with under 7. It's by no means impossible, but by the way this game has gone, it's starting to feel a little more premium as this one goes up and out of play. 7 seconds go off as Panofemis has a nice little discussion on holiday plans with a player from the Sioux Greyhound side. Both of them already celebrated Canadian Thanksgiving, but hey, if you're in America, you might as well celebrate American Thanksgiving.
Good strong save. Charlie Burns got a piece of that shot, deflected it up and out of play. Kind of hit him awkwardly, so he's kind of still trying to work with himself here, make sure that he's all right as he takes the mask off. It might have actually hit up high on the mask, and that one sent it currying out of play. So Otters are going to need Charlie Burns to come up big here on this power play advantage for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. We talk about it all the time and how good your goaltender needs to be on the penalty kill. Well, here you go. This is a quintessential opportunity where Charlie Burns is going to have to come up huge.
Erie will just clear it out of the zone, and that's the minimum of what you need to do. And they do it right there, alleviate a little pressure. And now Femus will bring it into the offensive end. Remember, Erie's already got a shorthanded goal here today. It was from Pano Femus as Alfano held off the goal sheet so far in this one, would like to get one of his own after he missed so much time in the game for a 2 and a 10. Femus' stick was slashed out of his hand. He'll play soccer on his way back. Grabs his stick on the fly shot. They score. Bar down. We've got a power play goal for the Hounds, and we've got a 1-goal game with 8:06 to go in the third period. Who else? Kluche with his second.
Kluche's been very, very good tonight, and there is a show of that. Again, you got to be careful with taking penalties at this time of the game, because now you're in a 1-goal game. It's a great entry, good little drop pass, and just a beautiful shot. How about Carlisle, the defenseman, providing the screen in front? I do want to get a look at this, and we'll see the entry, because this was pretty close to being offside here with the Greyhounds. That was my first thought when they crossed in over the line, and they do find the back of the net. So the officials still over the penalty box. Here's a good look.
Oh,
it's close.
Yeah, it is close.
It's certainly could go either way. They're still holding it up here. That's a beautiful shot to go bar down. You have Carlisle providing a nice screen in front of the net, and the Greyhounds, for the moment, have made this a 1-goal game with 8:07 left to play. So a lot of time here for Sault Ste. Marie to find an equalizer, and that's what makes that goal so big and so early, taking the penalty at that time.
They have not officially given the thumbs up yet. The off-ice scorer is now on the phone upstairs at the war room. Remember, all goals automatically are reviewed, and here we get another look at it. Here we go. Good job, production team. Slow-mo.
Offside.
That's offside. From that angle, no doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
And with them having another look at it, that's where you start to think, okay, they're seeing the same thing we're seeing here. They have called all the officials over. The lead official is on the phone with the war room upstairs. Production team absolutely working it tonight. Another angle here. And yeah, from that one, at least from seeing the player at the bottom of the screen, it looks clearly on the other side of the blue line.
It was my first thought when they entered the zone that this was offside, and they're going to get the iPads out potentially here and have the officials taking a look at it. I think this one could come off the board here.
Yeah, this is a prime opportunity. I think you saw the angle for the goal that was kept for the Erie Otters side, but now we see there's going to be every angle. They have every blue line shot. They have everything that they want to see, and they're going to get a definitive look here.
I don't think it is as obvious as the one we saw on Wednesday night.
Side.
But I think this one, there should be enough here to overturn this and be an offside call and no goal to make this a 4-2 game. They took the goal off the board on the video board here in the rink. So maybe if that's a sign of positive things to come for the Otters, that could be exactly it. Ian Rush, Tristan Peacock are the linesmen taking a look. These two, they work a lot of games here in this building together and are going over this one to try and make sure that they get the call completely correct. But for me and for you, I believe, Sean, I think this is going to stay offside.
All right, this is the most definitive real-time angle.
I mean, Carlisle's quite a ways over the line.
Yeah. And again, offside is both skates full body. If you're halfway on and over, and again from that angle, again it's a real-time thing. So you have to factor that in, because as much as I am a proponent of every angle, slow it down as much as you want to, there has to be the human element. And if it's too close to call and you saw it on the ice, we'll get to see here, but it certainly looks from my perspective that this one's going to be coming off. If they're taking a lot of looks at it, again, that can go one way or the other, but you're just looking to see, was there a millimeter of blade still on the line right there? Because in real time, it was called onside.
And I do have to say, though, the onside call, when it was made, it wasn't really super definitive. It was one of those where, maybe a little bit of a screen coming in there, but then again, it was kind of right in front right there. So an interesting one, certainly, but I think this one, from what we've seen here in the booth, I think this one should probably come off the board. We were wrong earlier tonight on one that could have been changed on the goalie interference, but we'll see if this one does indeed go offside. I mean, to me, again, that's going into pretty full speed, but it looks to me like Carlisle is quite a ways over the blue line.
And we're looking at the multiple angles here. Again, a good job from our team in the truck in getting these replays. I don't know, from that main shot that we have seen the replay of from our production team, the one where it's the full shot right over top, it certainly looks like Carlisle's body is across the blue line. And again, you have to make sure you're looking and taking all the time that it's going to take to get this call right, because a goal here, it's a 1-goal game with 8 minutes left. Goal turned over, it's a 2-goal game with 8 minutes left. And again, massive difference. 1-goal game, it's a shot away. 2-goal game, that's a lot bigger differential. And finding a goal in this game, it's been at a premium.
It has been, and that's a big, this is a huge call.
Yeah.
This is a big moment in the game, and think of how long this is taking compared to the one that we saw on Wednesday night, right? It's not even close in terms of the timing, and that shows that this one is a lot closer than the one we saw the other night. So imagine that, this one, we'll see how it ends up coming out, but I mean, it looks pretty clearly he's offside.
From a definitive angle that we just had the opportunity to see here in-house, it looks pretty clear, but again, you have to make sure it's fully definitive. They're going to look at everything, because again, you get this call right or wrong, the game changes. And for the Erie side, if this goal doesn't, if this goal comes off the board, this place is going to erupt.
And then all the momentum goes onto an already penalty-killing Otters team, right? You've still got 1:23 left to go on this penalty kill. So now you start to kind of turn the momentum and you get the fans back on you. Every clear means that much more if this one does come off the board, and everybody's going to be celebrating every clear.
Well, and the fans, as much as the players are trying to keep themselves loose for when game action gets back to it, the fans are trying to keep themselves loose here, knowing that if this one comes off, it's time to explode. Great crowd here tonight. Even when the Otters were down and when they have been down, they have kept the energy alive, and that's what the Erie faithful do. No rink in the OHL. I can say that definitively. I've been to 21, I guess 22 of 20 now. No team in this league has the home ice advantage the Erie Otters do.
Yeah, it's really impressive, and I mean, I don't know what's taking so long on this. I mean, from what we just saw moments ago, I mean, that's pretty clear. Slow it down, stop it, and boom, offside, right? But I guess, again, like you mentioned, this is a huge call in the game.
Maybe, I mean, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they're looking at time here.
That could be true. Yeah, because they're going to have to add on just a little bit of time. But again, last night, that was sorted out so quickly. Yeah. It was instant. I guess last night, Wednesday night, I should say.
It feels like last night.
Yeah, it really does.
It's been an odd week.
I mean, I had a pretty short day yesterday, too, so that I think that played into it a little bit as well. But, yeah, for me, this is pretty clear offside. And, yeah, like you mentioned, Sean, 4 or 5 seconds.
We've got a goal. They took their time. They looked at every angle. And we've got a goal that stands. We'll see if we can get another replay in here again. You be the judge. The call is final. It is a good goal. We've got a 1-goal game. And again, it's the real-time element. Can you find definitive enough evidence to say no for sure? They did not believe that they could. And we've got a 1-goal game.
I'm bamboozled. I can't believe that they didn't see what we saw, I guess, and unfortunate for the Otters. Power play goal for the Greyhounds. Sometimes you got to battle through, and that's what the Otters are going to have to do. They're still on the lead in this game, but that's really deflating.
Well, the Erie Otters in a 1-goal lead.
Scored by number 24, Justin Coutier. A power play goal.
Brady Martin in front. That one set aside. And hey, credit where it's due again. Cloutier, that was a beautiful shot. So it does stay on the highlight reel as a goal, a power play goal. Cloutier, he's on hat-trick watch now as he was still inside of the offensive end. Cloutier and Brady Martin, they have been everywhere tonight for this Sioux Greyhound team, and they've had to carry the water. Edwards off the side of the net, going back behind. Forward, this one will go, finding its way in. Delayed offside. Erie will take it back in. Erie does cross the 40-shot plateau. So Erie remains consistent with that. Puck jumps up into the air, found back behind by Gabriel Frasca. Just over 7 minutes remaining in a one-goal game. Henry through traffic and absorbed by Schenkel with a little bit of a meeting in front of the net. Regardless of the circumstances, no matter what that call was, you still have to play your brand of hockey. And I'd like to think that was the messaging for Sam Butler, is it doesn't matter what happens here. One goal or two goals, we still have to have more goals to close this game out.
Yeah, exactly. As frustrating as it is, you've got to find a way to just dig deep and continue to just get back to your game and continue to be hard on pucks and keep the strong forecheck that this Otters team is known for going.
Top of the left circle, Schaefer down, Messier up front, Hughes! Oh, he's robbed in front. He wanted that second one, looking for his first multi-goal game in his first game.
Well, you could see it coming. He was kind of using the forward in front. I think it might have been Messier is almost a little bit of a screen and to kind of allow him to get lost in the slot right there. A great pass to find him. See how, or in fact, it's Frasca. See how he kind of uses Frasca, and then he just cuts right in while Frasca drifts behind. That allowed the space and a great opportunity and an even better save from Charlie Schenkel. By the way, Otters, they're on probably 50 shot watch here with 6:51 still to go.
Well, it certainly seems realistic. They're at 42 right now, and the offense doing once again what the offense does. Even after a slower start here tonight, they have found their shots. Inside of the wide corner, this one will go. Moving its way over right wing side. Malcolm Spence was looking for that one. Spence creates separation, down and back. Spence shot, nice save, Schenkel. Souvenir puck, Charlie Schenkel with a 40 save night so far. He has had his work absolutely cut out for him.
That's a great job by Malcolm Spence, able to dance around, create some space, and get a shot away, and that is a terrific stop by Charlie Schenkel. But Malcolm Spence, you see why the scouts are so high on him. He's such a dynamic player and can create that separation. That's what he does there, and that allows the room to get a shot away.
A young fan was the recipient of that puck, by the way. It's always good to see. You want to have the young kids have that memorable game. It's always someone's first game. Entering in. Stay onside, top of the right circle, moving down, left side. Oh, opportunity lost. Travis Hayes. Back inside of the near corner, this one will go. Just over 6 minutes left to go in the contest. It's a one-goal game. Moving down Main Street, loose in front. Schaefer kicks it to the corner. Out of the zone, this one will go. Alfano with it. Alfano crosses the red line and sends it down the rest of the way. Carlisle. Up against the near wall, this one will find its way out of the zone. Royston, there was a check down here. Stick comes flying out of the hand of Dylan Edwards. Henry had it, lost it, sends it back, takes a very odd and not very favorable bounce off the back glass. Entering in, here's Kerry Terrance moving forward with it. Terrance back below the goal line. Dylan Edwards. Edwards inside of the wide corner. 5.5 to go here in the third period. 26 shots for the Sioux Greyhounds. 43 for the Erie Otters. It's a one-goal lead for the home team. Below the goal line, right in front, Royston had it, lost it. Royston back in front, shot is blocked immediately, and a bevy of Greyhounds come out of the zone as they'll clear this one in. Lucas Ambrosio, under 5 minutes left to go. This one goes all the way down the ice. Clean path, down for an icing. And the Erie Otters will head to the final media timeout up by a goal.
Oh, here you go. 5 minutes left in the game and an opportunity now for the Otters to try and not only kill clock, but maybe find a second goal here to expand that advantage. And it's going to be tough to do here as we go down the stretch. But for the Otters, they're going to look to do just that. And here you go. You're late on in the game, and You know, we've seen a couple of times this season where they have surrendered late leads. You look at the game in Saginaw, obviously the Otters were able to bounce back in that one. But, again, the North Bay game comes to mind with the battalion coming back and stealing the extra point. So, like, you gotta bear down late on in this game, because if it stays a one-goal game all the way through, well, again, it's going to get kind of awkward in those last couple minutes.
And these are the games that give you that emotional capital where you say, hey, okay, you know, it's nice to win a game and it be done before the third period starts, get late in the game and late in the third period and the game's already over. But these are the games that you're going to be playing in the postseason. These games where it's one goal late in, pressure's on, the team's driving, you got to get going. And these are the games that Erie needs to play to be that team when the season comes to an end.
Yeah, they certainly do. These are the playoff-type games that you are going to experience once you get into March and April, and you got to find ways to dig deep and come out in these close games.
This one blocked in front. Erie trying to keep this one as far away from their netminder as they can, and a carried puck will send us to another face-off. With 4:42 left to go in the contest, 43-26. Shots in favor of the Erie Otters.
Faceoff will come outside on the hand pass, so that will allow Otters to go off for a change and just, again, keep the puck as far away from Charlie Burns in your goal as you possibly can. That's been a nice key for Erie here in this one. They're certainly happy to do it here.
Sent back down by Caden Carlisle. Schaefer meets the puck, and it's sent down the rest of the way. 4.5 minutes left to go in period number 3. This one finding its way for Alfano, and he tried to lacrosse it in. Back of the blue line, held in by Schaefer. Schaefer shot, Femus missed opportunity, wide open net. Sauter through traffic, loose in front, kicked away. Oh, Pano Femus is gonna have nightmares about that open net. Femus can't find that one, and is brought out of the zone by Martin. Back into the offensive end it goes. 4 minutes remaining in this contest. That would have been the exclamation mark to put it away as another souvenir puck. My goodness, bring your catcher's mitt next time you're at the game.
Might as well. I mean, that one came off like a rocket. Hopefully everybody's okay down there. That one certainly came off with quite some velocity as sticks and lanes, and plenty of souvenirs have been finding the seats here tonight.
Face-off back at center. 3:53 left to go in this contest. Erie will find it back in the neutral zone, working its way down. Right in front of the bench of the Otters and below the goal line. Burns playing this one back. 3:40 remaining in the contest. It's been such a good game. Erie fans have been spoiled with some great contests here in the month of November on home ice. And with 3 more to go on home ice, Erie's hoping that they get a little win streak going here. Royston up against the bench. Edwards back into the defensive end. It'll go. 3:20 remaining. Offside. This one will come with a face-off just outside of the offensive end, and the fans with a mild applause after that.
Trying to find Marco Mignosa jumping in over the line. Good snap pass ahead, but Mignosa just a little bit ahead of the play. He's another one of the really strong players in this Sault Ste. Marie lineup, but he's been rather quiet here tonight. So again, give the Otters credit for the way that they have handled number 26 in red and white.
I missed it at one point here tonight, but Charlie Burns got an assist.
Really?
Yeah.
Love to see that. So he'll be climbing up the score sheet and the stat sheet here tonight.
See, that's how you make it a memorable game. You have 3 minutes left and some change. Looking for your first win on home ice here, and you get your first point. Give him a game puck.
Well, Noah Erliden already has one, so now Burns able to match him in that category.
Is this the highest scoring goaltending room? Well, I guess, who was the OHL team? Was it Carter George?
Carter George
yeah.
for Owen Sound scored a goal.
Well, hopefully he doesn't do that next Wednesday against the Erie Otters here on home ice. Back below the goal line, this one will go. Carter George, by all accounts, from what I've heard, a fantastic young man as well, and boy, he's one heck of a goaltender.
Great goaltender. He's a guy, I believe it is his draft year as well. We'll talk a lot about him coming up when the Attacker in town 1 week from last Wednesday, 5 days from now on Thanksgiving Eve.
That's right. This one will find its way to the blue line. Schaefer can't hold the line. Kick forward out of the zone. It'll go. David Halab taken off his feet. Nathan Sauter's a wrecking ball. He has filled the Owen Johnston role so well for the Otters, and he is just such an underrated part of this defensive core.
There's a little tie-up from Matthew Schaefer that stymied. I believe that was Hilton rushing forward, or Muxlow rather, for the Sioux Greyhounds with that opportunity. And boy, Nathan Sauter allowed him the time to recover and make a big hit.
Inside of the corner. 2-minute drill left here for the Erie Otters. And Schenkel will be thinking about heading to the bench as soon as he gets that offensive possession. He goes before he even gets it. And the Otters see an empty net as Schenkel's off. Chance to ice this game. Spence putting it up in the air. Bouncing puck. Alfano's looking for it. Alfano back inside of the defensive end of the Greyhounds. Wants to play robber. The Greyhounds have got to be so careful with the puck here. 90 seconds remaining in the contest. Spence toward the open net. Goalkeeper play from Caden Carlisle, and Alfano sinks it deep. Matthew Schaefer is out on the ice. He's got 2 goals here tonight. Right now he's thinking defense. Right in front. Highlight goal opportunity not finding its way through. Erie forward with it. Move down for Terrance. Terrance open net. He scores! That will do it. 5-3. The Otters go ahead, looking for their 4th straight win on home ice. That should be enough.
Carey Terrance, it goes one way and then it goes right back the other. Brady Martin with just a sublime move to step around a couple of Otters, but then Carey Terrance going back the other way, pokes it forward, and he escapes in with that shorthand or with that empty net opportunity. And I think we might get a check on an offside here. Officials back over in front of the penalty box. I was thinking it as the Otters entered in. Puck was kind of behind Carey as he was able to work its way into the zone as they're still holding up play, making sure that this one is a clean entry.
1:09 left to go in the contest with a good goal. It's a 2-goal game, and effectively, this game's over. We've got a good goal. This game is effectively over. All that's left is the final 69 seconds of it, and the Erie Otters are going to continue what has been a terrific home stretch in the month of November. You have to play to win your home games, and right now, the Otters are playing great hockey in front of the hometown faithful.
They are, and they've only lost 1 game in regulation on home ice this season, and it's been really impressive stuff. That 1 game was the home opener.
How about that? Just had to shake off a little bit of the rust. Down below the goal line it'll go. 40 seconds left to go in the contest. Carey Terrance, and he deserves that one so much. Some people call empty net goals, freebies. They don't count all the same, but hey, with a guy who works as hard as he has this season, as great of a captain as he is this one saved by Burns, no one deserves a quote-unquote freebie quite like the captain.
Yeah, Carey Terrance, such a great worker, great hard worker, and we talked a lot about his leadership skills on Wednesday night and just how great of a captain this young man is really evolving to, and how much it means to him to wear the C here in Erie. When you talked to him earlier on in the year, he talked about how it's kind of been a long time coming from as we get a Greyhound timeout. And our good friend Daniel Nikandrov is leading the way on the setup for the Hounds here in the offensive zone. But you can't say enough good things about Carey Terrance. It's just how he's matured as well over this season. It's just been amazing to see.
He's had to change his identity a couple times. Well, maybe adapt it, but never change it. He is a player who knows what kind of player he is. He's fast. He knows where to put the puck. He knows where to distribute the puck. He knows when to shoot and when to give it up. He's selfless. He does the little things right, and he's not about himself. He definitely takes that I element out of team and just tries to play the game the right way, and I think that's one of the reasons that Erie Otters fans love him so much and why the Anaheim Ducks, again, took him so high.
It really is, and he has just developed so nicely, and he's a guy that's going to go on to have a really strong pro hockey career. I think, if he continues to have the success he's had, it did take him a little bit to get going this season, but, he's a guy who could be playing pro hockey as soon as next year.
The San Diego Gulls and our good friend Aaron Cooney waiting to see another Erie Otter join the ranks. Set up play over, mid-slot opportunity, bouncing off the mid-glass. You hear that absolute crack of the sound. 20.5 seconds remaining here.
Burns barged over as well in that sequence, so hopefully he's okay, back to his feet. Still just a little bit of time to kill here, separating the Otters from a big 2 points on home ice.
And a great response from Erie after that goal that was reviewed for a potential offside. They dug back in. They reestablished their identity. They didn't let Sioux get the offensive momentum that they probably should have from something like that.
Yeah, they did a really good job in just going back to what they are in their identity is. And I think that was a big reason for Erie being able to continue to dig deep and continue to defend, just doing what was working during that period, and it ends up working out very well for the Otters down the stretch.
Erie leading it out of the zone. Callum Hughes was certainly hungry for another one as this one comes in offside. And you hear quite a loud whistle as that one's blown off. Extra discussion, Alex Messier smiling right in the face of an opposition. And nothing will get you more frustrated than seeing that, especially in a game where you're losing.
Yeah, that's always frustrating. How nice of a storyline would it have been for Callum Hughes on a little shorthand or a little empty net breakaway, flying down the ice and trying to give the Otters a little bit more of a cushion and a nicer looking score line down the stretch. I mean, this team, you know, looking at it, at what they've done when they've scored a shorthanded goal, they're now going to move to 7-0. Wow. When they've scored a shorthanded goal, they're now going to have scored at least 5 goals in 6 of those 7 games where they've scored a shorty as well.
Hughes looking for the empty net. He'll pass it off and they score. Gabriel Frasca with the empty netter. That's a 6-3 game for the Erie Otters, and that's a selfless play for the new guy to make sure he earns his reps.
Well, and if anybody deserved a goal tonight, it has been Gabriel Frasca. He's been all over the ice here this evening, and he's played very, very well. I'm very excited to see that he was able to find the back of the net here, albeit an empty net goal, but it still counts the same for Gabriel Frasca. Find the back of the net for the 4th time this year, and that's a really nice capper on a really good night here tonight.
Charlie Burns is going to pick up his first home win of the season. The Erie Otters are going to win another multi-goal contest, and Erie moves to 4-0 on home ice. They go and get their goaltender. Otters win it 6-3 in front of the hometown faithful. Perfect on home ice in the month of November continues. You even up the season series. You take 3 of 4 in the season series against this Greyhound team, and you win the last one against them.
Yeah, always feels good, and you know, you felt all right after the point they gathered in the Sioux. Now to come here and really take care of business on home ice. Really impressive stuff from the Otters, and they just continue to take advantage of your home games, right? You got to win your home games, play 500 on the road. That's basically what they're doing. They're over 500 on the road, but they're really moving in the right direction on home ice.
A big win here tonight. You got to feel good for Charlie Burns. He played so well in Flint, 28-30. Now the offense shows up for him. He stops 23 of 26, gets that win. And the Erie Otters, momentum is at a high right now. This team is playing confident. They're playing like they know that they're a team that can win games and is winning games. And anyone who comes into this building is not only playing this team, they're playing this rabid fan base that is living and dying by every touch of the puck.
Yeah, they certainly are. And you look ahead, I'm really excited to see what tomorrow night is going to bring, because you bring in one of the top teams in not only the Western Conference, but the OHL as a whole. To go in and match up with them, how is this Otters team going to match up? How are they going to be able to contend with the Kitchener Rangers? So I'm really excited to see how that's going to shake out tomorrow night, and going into it with all the momentum in the world, because you're 2-0 on the homestand.
2 games down on a 5-game homestand, longest homestand of the season for the Erie Otters. You're 2-0, and Erie's played great hockey on home ice. And they just continue to feed this hometown faithful with great hockey games and big wins. And now we get the hardest decision of the night, perhaps, as we try and find out who our 3 stars are going to be. They're trying to bring out the Chuck-a-Puck mats, as we had gliding stars during our first intermission. We had a fun game during our second intermission, so Chuck-a-Puck moves to the end of the game. More chances for fans to win after a victory.
By Duncan.
And let's
Tonight's
find out.
3rd star with 23 saves and an assist, Erie goaltender number 35, Charlie Burns.
That's feel good. You love to see that for Charlie Burns. He's tenacious. He keeps at it. He knows his role, and tonight he gets a win.
Yeah, really great to see Charlie Burns, a little smile on his face. He's a super quiet kid. Look at that, the grin, just ear to ear. Great to see Burns.
Erie forward number 9, Callum Hughes.
Welcome to Erie, young man. Callum Hughes, first game, 2nd star. He's going to be fun.
This kid's pretty good. He's pretty good. He was really impressive all night long here, and he was great.
Defenseman number 48, Matthew Schaefer.
Well, you love to see this. Look at this guy. There is not a person in this city who does not absolutely root for this kid. He throws it to the rafters. And before we'll talk about him, let's hear what Jared has to say with Matthew Schaefer.
Erie Otters fans, give it up for your first star of the game, Erie defenseman number 48, Matthew Schaefer. First off, Matthew, I got to say that was a heck of a throw right there. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone throw one that far. First, I got to ask you, obviously 2 goals tonight. Which part of your game do you think you excel at more, offense or defense?
I try to be a 2-way defenseman, but I guess the offense is there and the defense is there, so whatever.
And obviously today you said something in the tunnel. You want to give a shout out, special day for you. Take it away.
Yeah, no, my mom passed away about 9 months ago, and it's her birthday today, so today was a big game for me, and you guys came out for me, so thank you.
All righty, everyone. Once again, give it up for your first star of the game, Erie defenseman number 48, Matthew Schaefer.
There's only so many words you can say about a kid like him, and especially with tomorrow night's Children's Grief Awareness Night. We talked about it. It's his mom's birthday. He's been playing for her ever since the terrible things that occurred last season. Such a special player, and he's the most rootable kid maybe in hockey.
There is truly nobody more, like you mentioned, that you can root for and want to root for than a guy like Matthew Schaefer, and he's just so cool, right? Like, there's nobody cooler than Matthew Schaefer on this team, right? He's just such one of those guys that, again, you want to root for, but just to be around him and be in his presence. He just has this aura about him, and he's just an amazing teammate, an amazing player, and an even better human being. So to see him step up tonight is always a lot of fun. And, of course, on a day that really meant a lot for him and does mean a lot to him. It's awesome to see that he was able to put together the performance that he was able to tonight.
And with so much family in town and knowing what this weekend means to him, it's so special. And I think the biggest thing that we can say about him, you've seen the on-ice performance. You've heard every broadcaster in the OHL and probably across all prospect pools talk about what a special player this kid is. Again, when we talked to the players about Matthew coming back after he had mono, the first thing they talked about was not, okay, yeah, we need to get the player back, but it's about we just miss his presence. We miss his smile. We miss the way that he helps light up the room, and we miss the way that he's such a great teammate. And, you know, alternate captains and captains are named because they're leaders or, you know, because of what they can do on the ice or because of what they are off the ice or locker room presences. But it seems like he's just the guy that is the emotional heartbeat of this team, and that is just one of the reasons that he's got the A on his chest.
Yeah, I mentioned this on Wednesday. He's going to be a captain in the NHL one day, 100%. I mean, he's such a great leader, and just his positivity and just, you know, his outlook on life, and I imagine has been shaken up a lot over, you know, what he's gone through over the last year and a half or so. And, you know, for him to still be the way he is and just be as positive as he is and just the smile that he has on his face every day, it just puts a smile on everybody's face. And he's such an amazing hockey player, but again, he's just a better person. And just there's nobody that you want to have more success than Matthew Schaefer. And, you know, he's going to. You know, when he gets his name called coming up in June, it's gonna feel even much more special.
Special player, special night, 6-3. Erie moves to 4-0 on home ice in the month of November. They get past that loss that they had in overtime to the Sioux Greyhounds 9 days ago. They get the win here tonight. They get another 40-plus shot night. They get another multi-goal victory. They do it in front of just over 3,500 on a Friday. Tomorrow's Saturday night. Your budding rival, the Kitchener Rangers, coming to town. Chance to go into that off day on Sunday knowing you are riding an absolute momentum high. Boy, the potential of what tomorrow could be, it's just starting to peak.
It really is. If you come in and you sweep this weekend, I mean, the Otters are already turning some heads in the wider OHL community. I think, you know, you take down Kitchener, especially a Kitchener team coming in. I mean, they lost a big game on home ice against the London Knights on Tuesday. Of course, big one on home ice tonight against the Windsor Spitfires. So, you know, they're coming in. If you can take them down tomorrow, boy, that really, really shows off what this Erie team can be.
6-3 victory here tonight. Post-game show due up next. It's been a fun one and more fun to come.
Tacoma has a dominant legacy as America's favorite small pickup for almost 2 decades. Known for reliability and capability. Now buy a Tacoma with low 4.99 APR or lease an SR for $279 a month. Toyota, let's go places.
When it comes to health education in the Erie region, Northwest Pennsylvania AHEC is the name to know. But what is AHEC? Do they provide education to high school students on health careers?
AHEC does that.
Continued medical education for professionals?
AHEC does that.
Training for community health workers?
AHEC does that.
And even more?
AHEC, yeah, they do that.
Learn more today at nwpaahec.org. Northwest Pennsylvania Area Health Education Center, advancing Pennsylvania's health through education. Well, a very busy night here in the OHL, and that's the reason we can't show you our score because, boy, there's a lot going on tonight. So let's go back to where it started with our look around the league tonight. 4-3, the Oshawa Generals at last look were up on Brantford. 3-3 game going into a shootout. Peterborough looking for that second win of the season, and you want to do it against your rival. Also going into a shootout, Brampton and Niagara. 3-1, Windsor up on Kitchener. Chance for the Erie Otters to maybe get a little bit of a deflated Kitchener Ranger team tomorrow. You'll take your breaks where you can get them. Owen Sound going into a shootout with the London Knights. What's happening here? Sudbury 6-2 victors over the Guelph Storm. Oh my goodness. Ottawa and Sarnia in a 4-4 game. It was 3-0 Sarnia's thing at one point in that one. No shootout required, no overtime required in Saginaw. 8-0. The Spirit absolutely stomped the Flint Firebirds on home ice. I-75 Divide Cup leaning more toward I-75 North than I-75 South. And how about those Port Colborne Sailors? Don't get those Sea Dogs hot. 5-2 victory here tonight. Back-to-back wins for them this week. It's been a pretty good week for Erie Otters organization between the Port Colborne Sailors and now the Erie Otters with a 6-3 victory here tonight. A good result, a good victory as they're able to take down a team in the Sioux Greyhounds who had their number 9 days ago, but they get it back here tonight. Welcome back into the post-game show. Callum Hughes, about a goal here tonight. Second star honors. Charlie Burns, third star. It's good to get Charlie Burns back hot. Get him back with another win. Let the fire burns. And, of course, doing it against his hometown team. And, finally, Matthew Schaefer. We can regale about him for a long time. Could probably do a whole broadcast just about him. 2 goals here tonight, first star honors, and doing it on Jen Schaefer's birthday, his late mother. A special night with so much family in attendance. Tonight was fun. Tonight was special. Tonight meant a lot to so many people. And, of course, this is just game 2 of 5 straight on home ice. The Erie Otters are back at it tomorrow night. Children's Grief Awareness Night game with the Kitchener Rangers coming to town. A chance to be able to take on that foe and maybe give them that loss you've been looking for. Let's look more at that Children's Grief Awareness Night game. That is our next game due up. It is presented by our good friends at Highmark Caring Place, and we are certainly looking forward to it. This is our 3rd annual edition of this game. It has been a night that has meant so much to so many people, and we are so honored to be able to continue this tradition and be able to continue Children's Grief Awareness Day and night in the community where it started 16 years ago. Coming up, more fun on home ice. Of course, we talked about the game against Kitchener tomorrow for our Children's Grief Awareness Night game. Next time out after Saturday's game, it'll be a Wednesday night Bears and Beers night against the Owen Sound Attack with a happy hour special and, of course, our annual teddy bear toss game with Carter George in town. We're hoping that what happened last year does not happen this year with a hot goaltender coming to town. So, hey, positive vibes going into the weekend. Kitchener coming to town tomorrow. And as we look ahead to the week ahead, of course, we talk about the Kitchener Rangers due up on Saturday night, tomorrow night. That's a 7 o'clock puck drop. We'll start with you at 6:30 tomorrow. Few days off. The Erie Otters will have the Owen Sound Attack for the first time this season on Wednesday night for Bears and Beers. American Thanksgiving on Thursday night as we will engorge ourselves in turkey and stuffing and football, of course, the 3 tenets of an American Thanksgiving. Black Friday on Friday, the Otters Den will have its own specials of sorts. And on Saturday, the Flint Firebirds come to town for our family game night. I know our digital marketing manager, Hallie Giebel, has got some special stuff cooked up for that one. So make sure you come on down. That'll close out the month of November with 5 straight home games, the final 3 on your screen right now. It's been a fun one, and we'll take a very short break when we come back. Highlights from tonight's game as the Otters get a 6-3 victory in front of the hometown faithful, 3,500 in attendance on a Friday night. We'll be back. Probably one of the nicest kids you'll meet. Not a guy I'd want to drop the gloves with. Certainly not. He's got that Northern Ontario strength, and I'm sure being able to fight against the closest geographical team to his hometown as this one finds its way through for the first goal of the game. Greyhounds off of the face-off score, and it's a 1-0 lead for the team from Sault Ste. Marie. Goal line led by Sam Bonus.
Yeah.
Watch out, Sam Alfano getting loose. Alfano in front! Makes the strangest kick, and it finds its way back behind. And taken back as Schaefer will bring this one forward. Schaefer crossing center ice, brings this one in with Frasca. Back for Frasca. Frasca, down it'll go for Hughes. Hughes shooting! And that one, I think, ended up in the gut initially of Brady Smith, and then was grabbed off of him by his goaltender, Schenkel. Well, that might just about do it here for the Otter man advantage. Boy, Schenkel is playing beast mode right now.
That's another terrific save. Malcolm Spence kind of turn around and get a whack on net. Good stop.
They come in and they score! Matthew Schaefer with the goal. Power play marker, and the Otters get this one tied up. Over and in it'll go, top of the left circle, push back for Martin. Martin driving down Main Street in front, and they score! Cloutier with the goal on the redirect, and the Greyhounds retake the lead 2-1. And down the ice it'll go. Opportunity presents itself. Pano Femus alone in front. He scores! Sauter. Leaving it back for Carey Terrance. Terrance whips it ahead as it'll bring its way in for Callum Hughes. Hughes, left wing side it'll go. Bottom of the circle. Moved back by Damio right in front. They score! Welcome to Erie, Callum Hughes. Otters lead for the first time, 3-2. Entering in, top of the right circle, Femus. As they walk back to the blue line, this is Jacob Cloutier, who had that big goal earlier in this one. Shot in front, and Burns tracks it down as Henry pushes anyone away from his netminder. Flipped into the zone, Alfano waiting and shooting, and a block down there. That one was deflected away by Valeris. Moving its way up top of the left circle, Schaefer throws it on net, they score! Second of the night for Matthew Schaefer. Otters lead it 4-2. Femus' stick was slashed out of his hand. He'll play soccer on his way back. Grabs his stick on the fly shot, they score! Bar down, we've got a power play goal for the Hounds, and we've got a 1-goal game with 8:06 to go in the third period. Who else? Cloutier with his second. Erie forward with it. Move down for Terrance. Terrance open net. He scores! That will do it. 5-3. The Otters go ahead, looking for their 4th straight win on home ice. That should be enough.
Moved to 7-0 when they've scored a shorthanded goal. They're now going to have scored at least 5 goals in 6 of those 7 games where they've scored a shorty as well.
Hughes looking for the empty net. He'll pass it off and they score. Gabriel Frasca with the empty netter. That's a 6-3 game for the Erie Otters, and that's a selfless play for the new guy to make sure he earns his rep.